Have you guys ever wondered how people like this right here, Hussein Farhat, were able to make millions of dollars with their social media page? And just a couple of years, he posted on a story the other day that he made like over $2 million in like 2 or 3 years of growing and posting online, which is absolutely insane. And I'll give you a hint, it is not how massive his following is exactly. He's got 2.7 million followers. That's definitely a part of it, but it isn't the biggest part of it. It's actually about the fact that he has a seven-figure personal brand. Now, to determine the figure number of your personal brand, it comes down to the interest level, right, that you are cultivating with the content you are posting. And if you want to build a six-figure personal brand and eventually a seven-figure personal brand, you need to understand how to cultivate interest with your content. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. I just hosted a free masterclass yesterday on the 6 steps to make 6 figures as an online coach, and a majority of it literally just is building the right personal brand. How to post your top of funnel, your middle funnel, your bottom of funnel content, how to track, how to understand what's doing well, how to repeat successful actions, and all around what I've learned building a 6-figure personal brand. In case you don't know me, my name is Ryan Johnson. At 22, I was able to make over $500,000 with online coaching and with my personal brand. I've grown 2 social media pages, over 100,000 followers in less than 6 months, and I now have over 300,000 followers collectively. So I know a little bit about what I am talking about, and I've worked with dozens and dozens of people to help them make money online as well. And I recently had a client actually hit his first 6 figures within 6 months with only 10,000 followers. So regardless of your following size, this is what you need to know to make 6 figures online. Now, let's get right into it. Let's get into it. So, 6 steps to 6 figures as an online fitness coach in 2026 is what we are going to be discussing today. Let's get into it. So, this right here, everything I'm about to share with you guys, Gamma's going to be weird. Everything I'm about to share with you guys has resulted in me being able to make 6 figures 5 times over at 22 years old. It's quite insane. It's been very exponential, I will tell you that. It was a slow grind to my first 6, but once you get your first 6, the rest is easier. I've heard a lot of people say like making your first millions the hardest and the rest is easier. We're halfway there. It's going to get even easier and easier. But that's the thing I love about business, guys, is like it only gets easier as you progress. So if like you're thinking about starting, first off, just start. If you've already started, pat yourself in the back and like tell yourself like, hey, I'm just going through the hard part right now. It's only going to get easier as time goes on. And if you've already made money, if you've already made $5, $10, even $20,000 in total, like it's going to get easier and easier and easier as you pick up more information. Also resulted in my clients being able to do 6 figures in 120 days. This is a screenshot from Ari's Stripe account. He's cash collected, I would like to say over $130,000 now. Since a little bit like towards the beginning of this year, I think it was March. I think it was kind of around March. He kind of joined on. He had like a couple small sales before that. Nothing really crazy, but then we've been ripping since then. He's now made over 6 figures in 180 days, which is awesome. So not only have I done this for myself, but I've done it for other people. I've been able to work with dream clients. It's truly amazing. Some of you guys may be at that point right now where you have a couple of clients and you're just like, these guys are cool, they pay me, but they're not really my dream clients, right? And the reason we're building a business like this is because we want to build our dream business, right? We want to build a business that we love. That's why most of us don't go work a regular job or get a degree or work our way up in a job, even though it may be easier to make more money, even though we still may make pretty good money doing that. What we really want is our dream business. Work with the people we love, have time, location, freedom, do the shit we love. That's most important. And being able to work with dream clients is very, very, very important. And this isn't something I cracked up until maybe around 11 months ago, maybe 12 months ago, where I really started to work with people I truly loved. I have a couple of people from the very beginning of my coaching business that I love working with, but majority of them I was just taking them on just because I want to get paid. I want to make some money. But now I get to only work with the people I truly love working with, and I want to teach you how to do the same thing because you will make more money by doing this. Believe it or not, you will make more money working with your dream clients because you love them more. Because you love them more, you get them better results. And when you get people better results, guess what? You make more money because more people want to join on. So that's another thing we got to talk about. It's getting your dream clients. Having amazing impact. It's such an amazing feeling to have influence and know that your influence is positive and know that it helps people out. I know a lot of you guys have really good stories. You have a lot of value to share and you're all around just like a good leader. And not only do I want to help you build that influence, right? But I want to help you actually have that influence impact more people, right? Have you impact more people, because that's what it's really all about, right? Making money is cool, but like influence, I think that's what a lot of us really love and why we're attracted to a business just like this. And so I'm able to post these videos that, get a lot of views, influence a lot of people, have like DMs coming to me like, bro, you changed my life, or I love this one story. Like, it's an amazing feeling. And if you haven't gotten that yet, that's fine. It's in there, right? We just have to run the right content play in order to get people saying that to you. But having amazing impact is awesome. Getting recognized in public too. This has happened like dozens of times. I remember even back when I was working a job, I had some girl come up to me and take a photo with me at work before I was even really making money with it. That's one really cool thing about social media, especially when you do it correctly and you like really do blow up, you really do get it down, is like people will start to recognize you. We had this photo taken over in Elevation when I just first moved to Miami. These guys may even be in here, who knows? But these guys were really cool. I love it. But the truth is, a couple of years ago, this was all just a dream. It's not like I just spawned in here and this all of a sudden happened. Matter of fact, I should never even be in this situation from where I come from. And I want to give you a little backstory in case you're kind of new here, fully don't understand where I come from. And I simply want to give this to you so you can kind of visualize not only what I've been through, but help you understand it's like, no matter where you are in life, you are in complete control of where you're going to end up. You are in complete control of your reality. And I want you to believe that deep down. It's super important to believe that. Because I always believed it somewhat, right? And it took other people online to really show me, it's like, oh, those people are just in situations like me and they made it out. And the belief here, it's so important to come to find out. So to bring you back, like 13 to 17 years old, I was a straight lost degenerate. Growing up, I never had good role models around me. Only models of who not to become. Like, that's all I had. Was like, this is who you don't become, Ryan. My parents would literally tell me, do as I say, not as I do. They would be like, don't do what we do. Just do as I say. I know better, but I can't do better. We were broke, living on government aid for a couple of years. I saw addiction and fighting all around me. And this led me to having my own vices and addictions to numb the pain that I was going through. It was a pretty bad upbringing when I was young. My parents were like together but never married, and so they just lived together just for me, but it caused a lot of fighting. And like I said, I saw a lot of addiction, a lot of just bullshit, to be quite honest with you. And it was a little bit of a hard upbringing. There was good times too, of course. My parents definitely did love me, but there was just a lot of issues. And so 18 years old, August 2021 is when my life changed forever. I lost my sister in a car accident. While most would have spiraled deeper, this was my wake-up call, because she told me at 11 years old, Ryan, you have to become the change in this family. And I made her request my purpose from that day on. You guys may have heard this story before, but I remember it was yesterday. I was driving home early one morning, got this text on my phone from Life 360 saying that my sister's phone detected a crash. I drove out there. The streets were shut down. Come to find out, she crashed into a tree that night. Driving home a little bit intoxicated. Just to give you a little background kind of about her, she was actually like overdosing on things before that. And it was literally just because men led her down that bad path. She had a really bad father. It wasn't my father, it was a different father. She had a really bad father. My mom had a really hard upbringing as well. And her boyfriends were just really bad people as well. And they kind of all brought her down a really bad path, made her really damaged, I'll be quite honest with you. And, it was definitely her own mistake, but I still feel for her and not having those role models, in her life, those good influences. It was a lot of soft men. And I felt the same way. I was going down that similar bad path. I was probably a couple of years behind her from doing some dumb shit like that, to be honest with you. Because I did crash a car influenced once, heavily influenced once. And it was close, but it was nothing really bad. And so I was like, damn, I'm going down the similar bad path as well. And that's when I was like, I got to make the change. I just have to make the change. I always knew I could do better. I just never did better. And so 18 to 20 years old, I locked in. Like completely locked in, stopped talking to women, cut out friends. We graduated. And like she passed away, and I was just like pretty much completely alone and isolated for a couple of years. During that time, I cut out the vices, the woman, and all the distractions. I was working those odd jobs like flipping burgers, shoveling stones, selling shoes, selling sunglasses and shit like that, but just really heavily focused on my personal development, and I was documenting online. I was simply just posting because I was quite alone, and I was just super obsessed about it. And over 6 months, I blew up my TikTok from 0 to 100,000 followers. It was like one thing I got hyper-focused on, and I made it happen within 6 months. And then I decided to get into bodybuilding eventually. All right, I did a bodybuilding show, and that's when I launched my coaching business. After my first show, 6 months after, truly committing myself to the best me, I launched my coaching business, Team Handsome PR. I tried to launch some businesses before that. I tried the drop shipping, I tried the day trading, I tried etc. And none of it worked. None of it worked at all. And I'm glad it didn't work, quite honest with you, because I love what I do, and if I didn't do coaching, I don't know what I would do. But that was when I reached my initial success after launching that coaching business, because 6 months after launching, I was consistently making $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So I decided to quit my job for good, finally. I tried quitting before, but I had to go back because I went broke and I couldn't make it work out. But I was finally able to quit my job forever. I haven't clocked into a job in like 3 years almost, which is, it's a crazy feeling, quite honestly. And I booked a one-way ticket to Thailand to start living out some dreams I've had for a while. This was one of those, like, I've made it moments. I remember on the flight there, it was like 26 hours long. And I was just looking out the window. I'm like, damn, bro, I've made it. This is insane. I was still kind of like broke, but I was like, something's happening. We're making something happen. And then I learned my learning lesson number one. After a couple months in Thailand, I had enough. I was going into some bad habits once again, going out a little, drinking a little, doing some things, hanging out with some women, and my business started to go downhill after getting distracted. And I couldn't tolerate this, so I flew back home and locked back in on my bodybuilding goals. And I shared that as a learning lesson, just like, stay stoic. Stay focused on the mission at hand. Distractions will come your way. They will come your way, but you gotta stay locked in. You gotta stay focused, even when success comes. And then at 21 years old, in 2024, I spent the entire year locked back into my personal development once again. Did another show and moved from 8th place to 2nd place. Still coming for that 1st place. We're gonna try to go pro this year, boys. But I moved from 8th place to 2nd place, which was a great accomplishment. And after I went all in on my business, I scaled up to 10K months consistently. So you see this photo right here, that was all taken last year. A lot of the videos you see me online, and a lot of you probably like start following me right around that period of time, after I just locked back into my personal development. A little pattern you may see here is like, if you really focus on your personal development, everything else will flourish. And that's just what I'm trying to get at with the story is like, if you focus on your personal development, if you turn your pain into power, if you truly devote yourself to the best you, everything else becomes easier. Making content, growing online, making money with a business, it all becomes so much easier when you put personal development first. Because in 2024, I put my physique and my mindset first. I grew even more online. And I was making a little bit more money. But then once I put my personal development first and my business first as well, that's when I, once again, hit those 10K months consistently. I hit those 10K months for 3 times in a row. It was October, November, and December of 2024. And then I moved to Miami, which was a 3-year goal of mine. At the end of 2024, I packed up all my bags and drove 26 hours to move my life to my first apartment here in Miami, Florida. And this is where life truly started. It really did start here because it was like a fresh start, you know? And if you guys haven't moved out your hometown yet, you need to make it happen. I'm telling you, there's so much growth. It's scary. It really is. But you need to make it happen. And here's one thing. You need to put yourself in a position to make it happen. Because, like, I could have done it way sooner. I was in the coaching game so much longer than a lot of people who made a lot more money a lot faster than me. But I simply just didn't have strong enough reasons to make it happen. And as soon as I saw other people winning, I was like, fuck, dude. Why are they ahead of me? And I got determined. I was like, I have to make this happen now. That's when I made it happen. It's all about your whys. Then I got into mentoring. So after successfully making over 10K a month, buying my own car, moving out of my parents' house, all with online fitness coaching, I started to teach others. You know, at this point, I was running that coaching business for like over 2 years. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to start helping out others. People are asking me about it. And that's when we started the mentoring, literally just a couple of months ago. It was like maybe 7 or 8 months ago. And then learning lesson number 2 came. All right. A couple of months after moving to Miami, I bought my dream car, all because I dropped my ego and allowed others to help me. So I heavily started to make a lot of money this year. Why? Because I heavily invested into others. I really dropped my ego and I was like, I need other people's helps. Right? I hired a mentor last year, but this year I've spent like 50 grand on mentors. I've hired a lot of people. I've gotten a lot of help. And that's when everything changed. All right. And I want to share that learning lesson with everyone out there. You can't do this alone. You can do it alone for a certain extent. 100%. Sometimes you got to do that. But I'm telling you, you will progress so much faster with other people. Then I started to duplicate my process. All year, I've been solely focused on building the best mentorship possible. And, well, the results have shown. You can check out my Instagram. There's some good results over there. And today, that brings us here, where I have the honor of hosting these free masterclasses and dropping things like 9-hour courses to help people who have dreams like myself achieve success much faster with a proven and clear process. So hopefully that gives you some background about me and why we're here today, and can hopefully help inspire you and make you see that I was in a similar position probably like you, and you can make it happen as well. Now, before we talk about the system that helps online coaches to print, we got to lay a strong mental foundation first. That's the biggest thing. Who loves mindset up in here? Let me get a number one if you love mindset. Let me get a number two if you're like, fuck mindset. Who loves mindset up in here? One, yes. Yes, we need mindset, man. Mindset is always first. Once again, guys, I want to see those notes written down. Post them on your story after. I want to see some good notes inside of here. This is where we start getting into the value of this all, okay? So let's lock in. High testosterone mindset. Let's talk about it. So to build a badass life, you need a badass mindset, right? Literally the difference between like the 0K a month Ryan and the 50K a month Ryan is like, yeah, some time, but really who I am throughout that process. I'm sure you've heard that before. It's always about who, not about how. The how is important, but who you are is so much more important because, and here's the one quote that'll help you understand this, success is when preparation meets opportunity. Right? And so if you aren't the man when the opportunity comes, you will not succeed. And so mindset is the most important thing here. Every single day there's opportunity in front of you. There's opportunity here right now. There's opportunity over your phone. There's opportunity everywhere. But the only reason we can't capitalize on it is because we aren't the man we need to become yet. Once we become that man, that's when everything exponentially grows. That's when we conquer those opportunities right in front of us. So I'm saying that because results don't just randomly happen with an average mindset. So I said we got to put personal development first. Mindset is everything. Who you are is everything, right? We see this exponential growth right here. That all happened because I rapidly developed. You can see right after I moved to Miami, January 1st, boom, everything skyrockets. This is a new one right here, but everything skyrockets. Even with Ari. It's like not much has changed. It's not like his content has gotten extremely better, right? It's not like much has rapidly changed inside of his life. Who he is has changed. He's broken through limiting beliefs, right? He's seen himself in a bigger picture, right? He's increased his self-image, and that's why this has happened. So belief is the hardest problem to break in making your first 6 figures online. I truly believe that. Belief inside yourself is the hardest problem to break in making your first 6 figures online. If you believe it, you can achieve it. And consciously, you may tell yourself, oh, I'm going to make that happen, but on a subconscious level, it's really important to break anything that may be holding you back and also implement the things that are going to help you reach your potential, right? And so I want to dive into the depths of your subconscious programming because once you break those limiting beliefs, once you truly believe inside of yourself, making money online is easy. It just comes and it comes and it comes and it comes. You ever seen like overnight successes before? You ever seen people who just all of a sudden blow up? Well, guess what? They've been trying for months and even sometimes years all before that, and then all of a sudden it finally hits. Why? Because something changed inside of them. And so if you want to make a quantum leap inside of your life, change your belief system. Change your subconscious programming. So let's talk about belief. What's more important than the actions is the underlying belief behind the actions. And I want to talk about this first because we're going to talk about actions you can take to grow your social media, to get more clients, to make more money, to close more calls. That's what we're going to talk about on here. But if the underlying belief behind the actions you will take after today's masterclass do not change, the outcomes will not change. Here's an illustration from Atomic Habits. I'm sure some of you guys have read this book. It's a great book. But the best way to change your outcomes in life is to change your identity first. If you change your identity, your processes will change. Like what you do will change. And then your outcomes will change. All right, so it's best to change the underlying identity before anything else. And so I broke belief down into a couple simple touch points I want to talk about. First off, build yourself every single day. I want you to put yourself first. If you're young, if you're a man in your 20s, you need to become selfish. A lot of people are too selfless, but guess what? You're in your 20s. It's not time to be selfless. It's not time to exactly give back quite yet. You want to do some of that 100%, but look at your life on a long-term scale. Even listen to Tony Robbins. He talks about this. 20, 30, 40 years old, it's all about building you up. Then once you get older, 60, 70, 80, you're like the grandfather. That's when you're truly giving back. I want you guys to think big about your life. I want you to plan big as well. And so you should be putting yourself first. Because if you put yourself first, you actually put other people first. A lot of people say, oh, family's first priority, or this is first priority. Yeah, 100% is. But if you don't put yourself first, you can't put them first. You can't provide for them if you can't provide for yourself first. So it's like we have to put ourselves first. So if you build yourself every single day, that's you putting yourself first, all right? And so I need you to lock in that personal development. Wake up early, man. Do your morning journaling, right? Really devote time to yourself each and every single day because the better you become, the better the world will become. And I want you to believe that.
All right. If you don't change, nothing will change. So build yourself each and every single day. Number E, or letter E, eventually. Best way to lose belief inside yourself is to say eventually. All right, you will lose trust. You will lose belief inside of yourself if you continue to tell yourself, eventually I'll change. Eventually I'll do this. Eventually, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And here's a book that I read a couple of years ago that changed my life. It's called The Power of Now. I don't know if you guys have ever read it or heard about it, but it's really good. It talks about this concept, and I think it's even a reality, honestly, that there is no future moment and there is no past moments. The only moment is right now. And so you can't change the future and you can't change the past. The only moment you can change is the moment of now. And so if you want to change, you must change in this moment now. All right? And if you continue to place change in the future, change will never happen. Change will never come. Right? Because the future is a fake moment. The past is a fake moment as well. The only real moment is right now. So if you keep saying eventually I'll change, eventually I'll do something, eventually I'll take that risk, it's never going to happen. And once you can truly become more present in this moment now, you become more in control of your actual life, is what I'm trying to say. Because I remember after reading that book, a lot of things in my life changed. It really did. When I started to become more present in every single moment, more present in this moment right now, I was better equipped to actually change my life. I stopped procrastinating. I stopped putting things off. I just did the fucking damn work now. I did whatever I need to do right now. I swallowed the frog is a great analogy. I just did the hard thing rather than putting it off. So don't say eventually. Do the hard thing. Just get the fucking job done today. L, long-term vision. I was just talking about this, right? Long-term vision crushes small-term problems. You guys will face small problems. You're going to face a whole bunch of problems. I get it. You're probably on here because you're facing some problems right now. But with long-term vision, it is so much easier to overcome those small-term problems, because if you're thinking big, then the little problems you face in the moment are like nothing, man. They're like little specks of sand. And the last thing you want to do is get stuck on these little small-term problems that really don't mean a lot. This is why I recommend journaling. I used to read my journals from like 3-4 years back. And I used to look at the problems I was facing. I was talking about these damn girls I never saw myself marrying. I was talking about feeling tired. I was talking about all these little small-term problems that were like really holding me back. And as soon as I zoomed out and I was like, damn, I can't believe I used to struggle with that shit 3 years ago, it just made me realize like, these little problems I face in the moment mean nothing. They really don't mean anything at all. And it helped me start to develop a long-term vision as well. And even now when I face any like small-term problems, I simply just think ahead. I think in 3 months from now, this will mean nothing to me. It's not going to be a problem. And so it allows me to overcome it much faster. Because the last thing you ever want to do in this pursuit is get negative, is to get stuck, is to start second-guessing yourself. And long-term thinking is going to help that out. I, information. Seek only information that promotes belief inside of yourself, right? You got to be really intentional with the garden of your mind. A lot of us aren't. A lot of you guys probably aren't, possibly. Maybe some of you are. But what you should constantly be doing on a daily basis is seeking information that promotes your beliefs inside of yourself and promotes your worldview. So like there's somebody you want to go become out there, right? And the best way to become that person as fast as possible is to cut out all information distracting you, holding you back, causing you limiting beliefs, and only intake and only entertain positive information that's going to help you get there. I hear it all the time. Oh, what about this guy? Or what about that guy? Or blah, blah, blah. You're soaking in too much information and it's distracting you. And so I want you to only seek information that's going to benefit you. Become very intentional about what you are watching. What are you consuming? I've noticed throughout my time, the times of rapid growth is when I cut out all distractions and I solely focus on myself. Like I'm isolated almost, or I'm like on an information diet and I'm only consuming information that is super positive for me, right? I'm not listening to music all the time. I'm listening to podcasts and shit like that, but always be seeking information that promotes your beliefs. E, execution, right? Build belief in your ability to get shit done is the biggest thing. You guys want to be confident. You want to be convicted. You want to make shit happen. You need to execute every single day. Just get this shit done. Do not procrastinate. Because like I said, belief is the hardest problem to break when making 6 figures, when making your first initial 6 figures. All right? And so the last thing you want to do is just not execute. You know, like say I got to do all these things. I got to make these changes. Eventually I'm going to do this. Eventually I'm going to do that. The biggest killer, the biggest way to kill eventually is just to execute. Just to fucking get the job done. I hear all these excuses all the time. Oh, I'm not sure what to post. I'm not sure what my ICP is. I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure about that. If you literally just execute and you take more action, you'll overcome it all. But you also build a lot more belief in your ability just to get shit done, because the person who moves the fastest is the person who will win. An F for failure, which is a complete myth. Anybody here who believes failure is a fucking fact is crazy, right? Failure is a myth, all right? You only fail if you give up. If you don't give up, you will never fail. It's impossible to fail if you just don't give up. That's the biggest thing. If you just stick to it, how could you ever fail? Really? Because while most people, they try and then they fucking give up a couple months in, right? And if you can literally just stay in the game for like a year, like that's it. You've beat 99% of people already. Like your competition, it's so easy to beat. I want you guys to understand that. You guys who think you have competition, you guys who think this game is so hard, you guys who think this thing is so saturated, online coaching, growing your social media, it's like most people are only going to be here for a year or two, all right? And if you just don't give up and you think long term and you plan on being in this game for years on end, it's so easy to beat everybody. It really is. Let's talk about the second mindset thing, which is burn the bridges. You ever heard the quote, success favors speed? Well, it's completely true. It's completely true that success favors speed. And while most people sit at the fork in the road their entire life, second guessing every decision they could make instead of just making one and following through, this is where most people fuck up. They just stand right here. They're just looking at decisions they could make, and they have this analysis paralysis. This leads to anxiety. This leads to stress because you're unsure of where to go in life. And maybe you're sitting there right now, stuck between this fork in the road yourself. And so here's what I've learned. Because you will run into this fork in the road more often as you become more successful, right? Because you'll only be presented more opportunities. You'll only have more decisions to make as you become more successful. It's a part of it. And so I want to share this one important learning lesson, all right? What's more important than the action you take is what you decide to do after you take that action. Right? You're going to have a lot of decisions to make, a lot of decisions. And what's more important than that decision is to follow through with it. I hear it all the time. People procrastinate because there's too many decisions. People aren't sure what to post because there's too many decisions. I'm telling you right now, if you just take action and follow through with it, you'll succeed a lot faster than overcomplicating every decision you make, realistically, because success favors speed. Most people who are a lot more successful than you are literally just faster at winging it. Like that's it. I'll tell you that. I've met a lot of these guys, even doing millions of dollars. They're just winging it. They don't even have any clue how they got there. They have just moved. They have just taken a whole bunch of action and never got stuck in this fork right here. So move fast. And one last thing about mindset is attachment is the root of all suffering. This comes from Buddha. And here's a little life chart of where most of you guys are probably at right now in your life. You're probably a quarter or even a third of the way through for your life, to be quite honest with you. And I know most of you here are probably feeling like you've been trying or you want to achieve success. And I want to ask, does anyone feel like that here right now? Does anyone feel like they've been trying or they just want to achieve success? Just be true. Drop a number 1 in the chat. Yeah? Garrett, appreciate that. I get that, I really do. And if you feel like that, sit with yourself and analyze why you haven't done much yet. You'll come to find it's most likely because there is still something you are attached to that is holding you back. All right, if you feel like you're trying, or if you feel like you want to, if you feel maybe a little bit like an imposter is the best way to put it, and you don't feel like the man, you don't feel like you're doing, you don't feel like you have momentum, it's because there is some attachment holding you back. And success is the process of elimination. The more attachments you remove, the closer you get to your potential, because success is the process of eliminations. If you remove attachments, if you remove what doesn't work, if you remove limiting beliefs, you will achieve your potential a whole lot quicker. So when you get some time today, ask yourself, what is possibly holding me back or limiting my potential? Ponder. Think about it actually for a little. Because if one of the most important things to success is the process of eliminations, removing things from your life, your belief system, from your attachment system, whatever you're attached to, and you break those things, right, you'll become a whole lot more successful, a lot faster. You'll make a quantum leap. I say this because I've personally recognized in my personal and in my client success that leaps and bounds, all right, major success is made when some type of attachment, negative belief, or faulty thinking pattern is broken. For example, for me, I quantum leaped to 10K months, 2030, and moved to Miami and, made progressed a whole lot faster. As soon as I just believed inside myself and I stopped holding myself back and I stopped giving myself these excuses, honestly. When I changed some things about my belief system, a lot of things changed. Another one was with Ari. I remember he was taking his first couple of sales calls when he joined on. He was getting calls booked in right away, and he had this attachment to the money. He had kind of like the scarcity mindset is the best way to put it, and it caused him to literally not make money. He would hesitate, so the prospect would hesitate. And as soon as we broke that attachment to the money, and we placed the importance on the transformation, on the coaching, and no longer on the money that the prospect was potentially going to pay him, he started to make a whole bunch of money. He's literally closed like 6 deals in a row these past couple of weeks, all because he changed his attachments, all because he broke past some limiting beliefs. Seriously, so when you get some time today, ask yourself, what is possibly holding me back or limiting my potential? Because the quicker you can identify that thing and remove it, the faster you will succeed. All right? And this is where mentors really come in hand, because people outside of you who are ahead of you are simply ahead of you because guess what? They have a better mindset than you. Literally, that's it. And they've probably struggled with the same exact things you're struggling with. And so when they ask you a couple of questions, they'll come to find out what's stopping you, what you're struggling with, what attachment you maybe have that's holding you back, because they've been there. And they're able to actually help you remove that. I was only able to help Ari do that because I've been there. I've been there placing the importance on the money, being attached to the money, and not be attached to the transformation that could happen, not having the importance on the transformation, and that's why I progressed a whole lot faster. So attachment is the root of all suffering here. But we're going to get into the social media things now. What did you guys think about that mindset? Was that beneficial? Get number 1 in the chat if that helped anybody out. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. All right, now that our mindset's in the right spot, we're going to get into the social media side of things. Actually, a lot more of the content of what you can do to accelerate your growth online and make 6 figures as a coach. But just once again, the importance of mindset is the most important thing. If you focus a lot more on your self-improvement, everything will become so much easier. I just will say that. Okay? Well, let's get into this now. High testosterone digital resume. So we now live in the digital economy, meaning your social media pages are now your digital resumes. If you want to get hired, if you want to make a badass living, designing your digital resume correctly is crucial. Inside this section, we will cover how to position yourself as an online fitness coach and set up your digital resume correctly. So we're going to start with the basics. As we progress down in the masterclass, it will get more to high-level stuff. So if you're somebody who's like a number 2 or number 3 here, just give me a couple minutes. This is really important for people who are number 1s and maybe a little bit number 2s as well. Digital resume overview. So 3 things we're going to talk about: your profile setup, your pin post setup, and your content ecosystem. All right. So how to correctly set up your profile professionally. This is incredibly important if you want to have a good digital resume. Your pin post. These need to communicate the 4 pillars of marketing quickly, which we will discuss. And your content ecosystem, building out a profile that hits all of the content pillars, all of the psychological touch points you need to hit in order to attract, nurture, and convert people online. So profile setup. When someone first finds your social media page, the initial impression is created through your profile photo and your bio. It's created through this right here. This pretty much is your digital resume in addition to the content below it. But this right here is incredibly important because this is the first initial impression. And if you actually look into initial impressions, they are extremely important. People typically make, I believe it's around 11 judgments on you within 7 seconds, as soon as somebody meets you. And so it goes online as well. As soon as somebody sees that first video or swipes over your profile, they're going to make around 11 judgments that are incredibly hard to change in 7 seconds. So we want to set this up properly at first. And the first thing is your profile photo. This should be simple, all right? Make sure you have a clean, professional, and identity congruent profile photo. It is worth investing into a good camera or hiring somebody for a day or just going out to get good photos of yourself. It is incredibly worth it. When it comes to social media, it's all about signaling to people you can help them become more fuckable. Literally, that's it. People buy things to become more fuckable. Why do people want to make more money? Because it will increase their sexual market value. Why do people want to get in shape? Because it will increase their sexual market value. Everything, in a way, always stems back to becoming more reproductive or having a better capability of becoming more reproductive, if we want to talk about real psychological things here. And so the better you look online, the more money you will make, 100%. And so that's why photos are important, especially this profile photo. Now, what I mean by identity congruent is it actually fits the identity you're trying to paint online. If you're trying to be a fitness coach and your photo looks like a regular gym bro, or you're in a shirt, or you're in a suit, it's probably not the best bet. It's not super identity congruent. And if you're trying to be a business coach, a fitness business coach, of course, this makes sense, but you probably want to have, a nice suit on or a nice dress shirt or like a professional photo, right? That's what I mean by identity congruent. It has to convey the message that you are this person just through the photo. Like if you looked at this photo, you would probably say, oh, this guy probably sells fitness coaching, which I do. And you want people to say that because people can learn faster with their eyes than they can with their ears, right? So have a good profile photo and actually invest into getting a good one. Now let's talk about your Instagram bio. So there's a 3-line perfect bio, okay? This is the way we run it. So line number 1 is the I help statement. As you can see, myself and Ari and then a whole bunch of other people, their first line is always I help, right? This is your simple offer headline. Once again, going back to the initial impression you're making on people, you want to make sure you have that in place. So as soon as they follow you, as soon as they find your profile, it's ingrained inside of their mind what you do for them. All right, so when somebody comes to my profile, I want them to instantly understand that I help fitness coaches build a badass coaching business and make 10 to 30 grand a month without paid ads. That's what I want them to remember me for. All right, so whenever they have that problem, whenever they need that help, they know who to go to. They go to me. Ari over here, he helps you sustainably burn fat and keep it off forever without the bullshit. So if somebody finds his profile, drops him a follow, that's the first line they're going to read. And that's going to be ingrained inside their mind. And so if they ever have that problem, if they ever need that help, they'll think of Ari right away. It's all about being top of mind for people. All right, so that I help statement is super important. We will go over actually coming up with like an offer headline, but just understand that first line is the I help statement. That's the first thing you want people to read because it's so important for people to understand how you can help them out. Nobody cares who you are, quite honestly. People care about how you can help them out. Number 2 is the DM keyword for one-on-one coaching, so how to get in contact with you. Even if you're starting off, man, just put that in there right now. Have the DM keyword inside of there so people know that you sell something. The last thing you want to do is build an audience of buddies and not buyers. Buddies are people who are just like, yeah, I just want to watch your shit. You're just like a buddy of mine. You make me laugh, whatever. You want buyers. People who know you sell something. People who know you're trying to actually get them to eventually pay you one day. Because then you'll have people who actually enjoy when you make educational content and when you do advertisement and stuff like that. So don't be afraid to come off as somebody who's going to sell something to your audience. Don't be afraid. A lot of people are. Don't be that type of person. It's like getting into a relationship and acting like somebody else when you're not that person, and then one day becoming yourself, and that person's like, what the fuck? I thought I'd start dating this person, not this person, right? It's just like, let people know from the very beginning what you're doing here. And the CTA line pointing to the next step of the funnel. All right, we all get this one. Once we have that next step of the funnel in place, which should be a video sales letter, a long-form video sales letter, you're going to have a CTA line pointing to that because you want them to get deeper into your funnel as fast as possible. And the CTA line should create curiosity to click on the link in your bio, leading people deeper into your funnel. Make sense? We're going to move on to pin posts now. So that's the Instagram bio. Set it up that way. Who you help out, DM keyword, CTA line pointing to a next step in your funnel. If you don't have that next step in your funnel yet, don't worry about that third line. But once you do, make sure you have that in there. Let's talk about pin post. So I actually want to ask you guys this question. What do you see reoccurring in these 3 examples? So this is Ari, this is me, and this is Andrew. I'll run over here really quick, then I'll ask you in the chat. So we got my story, we got a transformation, we got a bodybuilding show, we got my dream car, we got a transformation, we have, looks like he's talking about kind of what he believes in, being a strong man, client wins, and then my story as well. What do you guys see reoccurring inside of these? List out the 3 reoccurring themes you see inside of all these pin posts. I want to hear from you guys. I want to see if you guys get it. Just summarize it. Type in the chat. What are the 3 reoccurring themes you see inside of all these pin posts? Story, social proof, relatability. That's a good one, Frank. Good. Anybody else? Physique. Okay. Physique's definitely one. Muscle, success, relatability. Okay. Transformation, becoming badass. Hell yeah, Macy. Good. Okay, I think Frank got the closest to it. I'll go through it now. So the 3 main pillars, or the 3 main content pillars you want to nail in your pinned Instagram post are these 3 things. First off, your story. All right, you always must sell yourself first before you can sell your service. I need you to understand that. If you want to sell coaching online, if you want to sell anything online, you got to sell yourself first. Because when people buy into your coaching, they're more buying into you than actually what you're selling. Understand that. They're buying into you. They're not buying into your service. Right? So you got to sell yourself first. People need to know your story. People need to know where you come from. People need to know your past and the transformation you made and where you are now. Right? That's your story right there, and we'll help you get clear on your story. Number 2 is credibility and authority. All right? Your audience needs to see you as an authority figure. This can be showcasing a big achievement, a transformation, or similar. Right? And so right here I have my car. Ari has his bodybuilding show. Andrew over here has all his client wins. That's his credibility and authority, right? So when his audience actually sees this, once again, creating that first initial impression, makes this at the very top of the profile, they instantly see all of us as a they instantly see us as an authority figure, right? And we're establishing credibility through that. Number 3 is results, right? Proof over promise. It's all about proof over a promise. People don't care about what you say. People care about the proof of it all. And if you got no clients, that's fine. The proof should just be yourself. Right? Before I even had any incredible client transformations, the proof is just myself. I even just have proof right here. I don't have any client results on my main one. I have them on my other page. Ari doesn't even have any client results on his main one. He has it on the other page, on the real side of pin tabs. Right? But proof over promise. Selling your service becomes easy when people see that other people that they can relate to has achieved results inside of your coaching that they want to achieve too. Right? They either see you and they relate to you and they see the transformation you made and they want that one as well, right? They relate to that result, or they see your clients' results and they relate to your clients. That's when people really buy, right? They're like, this is for me. This guy is just like me, or this client is just like me. That's when people really buy. And so when it comes to creating your pinned post, I don't need you to go out there and like create anything for it, right? Definitely keep this top of mind. Generally, these are things that I just like throw together over time. It's just all about understanding, like go through your content profile. Do you have any reels talking about your story? Do you have any reels that are going to establish credibility and authority? Do you have any results that you can pin right up here? That's the simplest thing you can do. And over time, you can actually go out there and actually like make posts or make reels, just like Andrew did, just like Ari did right here. Like we made this one specifically when we were on the podcast for him to pin it right on his profile. All right, but those are the 3 things you want to hit. Make sure you write that down. You got to talk about your story to sell yourself first. You got to establish yourself as an authority figure, right? And then you also have to share results because it's all about proof over promise. These are 3 things you want to have pinned up inside of here. Make sense? Perfect. Perfect. It's incredibly important to have. Those pin posts, don't sleep on them. Incredibly important, right? Because it's all about catching people up to speed as fast as possible. All right, because as you start to get new followers in, what you want to do is convert those followers as fast as possible. So you got to get them to see the right things. All right, you have to hit the right psychological touch points so they buy. So this is part number 3, fundamentals of making money online. So at the very top of the iceberg, we have Instagram Reels, right? This is like the main thing you got to focus on because this gets you followers. And attention equals currency. Attention equals cash. We're in the attention economy. So the number 1 thing you got to focus on is getting good at Instagram Reels to get followers. The second part of the iceberg is going to be Instagram stories, right? This is where you start to build connection with people, right? Once you get the followers in, you got to actually start connecting with these people. Number 3 is long form YouTube videos, right? Let's kind of get into the bottom middle part of the iceberg, right? This is where you build trust with those people inside of your audience. Just because somebody follows you and likes your stuff doesn't mean they really trust you. And you come to find out trust is incredibly important to get people to buy. So the third part is long form YouTube. The 4th is DM conversations. This is where we book in calls. And 5th is sales calls. That's where you get paid. All right, this is like the fundamentals of making money online. Get people in through Reels. Get them to watch your stories. Get them to consume some long-form content. Get them in a DM conversation and get them on a sales call. Like that's the simple way to make money online. We're going to get in depth to it now. So a couple simple things. How often should you be posting though? 1 to 2 Reels every single day. That's the absolute best action you can take every single day is posting content. 1 to 2 at least. If you do more, go ahead and do more, right? And yes, your views will go down if you do more within like the 24 to 48 hour period. But over time, if the content's good, it's going to do good, right? So don't be afraid of posting more because you're like, oh, it doesn't get a lot more views. It's like, if the content's good, it's going to do good, you know? But just so you understand the algorithm, like when you put content out there, it rewards you a certain amount of views within 24 hours and then it pushes the content out. So don't worry about that. But like you need to be doing 1 to 2 Reels every single day. That is a non-negotiable of this. That is literally your highest revenue driven action is posting Reels. So at least 1 to 2 every single day. 3 to 5 stories every single day. So stories are the place you build trust, right? You build connection with your audience. Remember that? So as you're posting reels, you also want stories up, because not only will more people follow you, but you also nurture your current audience, and you'll nurture more people actually coming in, right? And this is like, once again, that second step in creating a sale. So you need to be posting 3 to 5 stories every single day. You cannot skip out on stories. If you go a day without stories, you're going to go a day without money. Treat it like that. Like, stories is where you are going to make money. You got to be posting them. And at least one long form YouTube video every single week, because trust is at an all-time low online. All right. Right now it's at an all-time low. People just don't trust people. You know, they don't. They're seeing through the scams. They're seeing how everybody's doing this and that and the third. It doesn't mean people aren't going to buy, though. It just means you have to become more intelligent. All right. It just means you have to become better than the bias out there. It's as simple as that. And so long form YouTube videos is how you are going to become better than that bias. It's how you're going to outwork the trust epidemic. All right, so increasing trust is simple. Just get your audience to spend more time with you. Like, if you want your audience to trust you more, to like you more, and to buy more from you, get them to watch more long form stuff. It's as simple as that. But this is like a simple baseline posting structure that I recommend to everybody. 1 to 2 reels a day, 3 to 5 plus stories a day, and 1 long form YouTube video a week. If you follow this every single day for a couple of months, and especially a year, you will be in a really good spot, because this is pretty much all I've done for the past couple of years. So your content funnel is hands down 80% of the thing that will make you your first 6 figures online. It is 80% of the thing is content. That's the most important thing here, and that's what we're going to discuss a lot about. Most influencers and coaches fail at making money online because they lack clarity in how to build a content funnel that attracts, nurtures, and converts. A lot of people are good at like one or the other. They're good at like attracting people, getting followers, getting views. Some people are really good at nurturing, but they have no views. And some people convert, but once again, they have no views, you know? And some people are just like bad at all of them, right? But you need to understand how to not only attract, nurture, and convert all at the same time, right? We got to do it all at the same time if we want to make money every single month. So I've personally uploaded over 5,000 pieces of content. I've grown 2 platforms to over 100,000 followers in less than 6 months. Have made 99.9% of my money through organic traffic. We've literally spent like 1K ads, and I don't even think we've acquired a client through ads. We haven't really tried it. I'm just like all organic, right? So I think I'm in a really good spot to talk about this. And the first place to start is going to be top of funnel content, right? So top of funnel content is simply content made to go viral. This is all about attracting, right? We're going to go attract, nurture, and convert. This is what top of funnel is for. So you may be asking yourself the question, well, how do I go viral, Ryan? Well, it's simple. You make content for conversations and not for views. What these social media apps want is for users to stay on their platform longer. So if people watch your content longer, comment on it, or share it with somebody, this is when the algo will push your content, right? So if you make content for conversations, people are going to watch the video longer, they're going to comment on it, and they're going to share it with your friend. And that's how you get the piece of content to go viral. And recently I've been running this green screen play, and every single video has gotten over like 100,000 views. You guys may have seen some of these, maybe you've even followed me off it. And I'm going to kind of break it down for you right here. So the first thing when it comes to making this piece of content is the hook opens a thought loop, right? So opening a thought loop pretty much just means raising a question or sparking curiosity without an immediate answer. And this is what gets people to watch all the way through. This video had like a 22 seconds in, 50% of people were still watching. And if you get over 50% people to watch past 7 seconds, that literally means the video is like always going to go viral. Like it's always going to do well if you can get 50% of people to watch past 7 seconds. And so I got 50% of people to watch past 22 seconds. That's why this one is ripping. And it's all because the hook opened a thought loop. And the hook right here was, you have to be a complete dumbass to believe these guys are making millions of dollars, are doing it because they have incredible physiques. That was it. First off, I called you a dumbass. First off, you're angry. I spark an emotion. You're like, what the hell, you know? And then you're like, maybe I am a dumbass because I really do think these guys are making money just off their physique. But this guy's saying, oh no, they're not making money just off their physique. So what are they making money off? And it opens a thought loop where people are like, well, I have to learn about this. I have to learn how these guys are making so much money because I want to make money as well. And I think it's all about the physique. So I'm literally just like shattering your belief system. You're like, dude, I have to learn about this. All right? That's the hook that opens a thought loop. It almost feels irresistible to click off to scroll. Then number 2, it's like 15 or 30 seconds of the video, I established credibility, right? I answered the why you should listen to me question. You always got to answer that with talking head videos. Answer why you should listen to me in the first 15 seconds. Like I said, over 50% of people watch past 22 seconds, and it's because I establish credibility. I open a thought loop, and then I say why you should listen to me, and that's why they listened all the way past. And I simply said this by like showcasing my proof, showcasing my transformation, talk about, hey, I made this amount of money online, right? Now, I know this is like a money example, but even for fitness, let's say you do something like this. You have to be a complete dumbass to believe that these guys are natural. You know, these guys who have incredible physiques are natural. And then you're selling a coaching offer, right? And then you showcase your own transformation. And you're like, if you want to look like this, you cannot be natural. And then maybe you relate it, like the core message of it is talking about having an unnatural mindset or an unnatural lifestyle. You know, you're talking about how most people think like being on a diet is like unnatural, right? Right? So you're like, you have to live unnaturally if you want to look like this. You can't live like the average human being. That's how you can relate something like this to fitness. But coming down to number 3 is the core message structure. So when you're talking about your core message in any type of video, it goes just like this. Number 1, you got to state the problem, right? State the problem at hand. You got to create a problem, because if there's no problem, there's no value, right? So you got to state a problem so people listen. And what I said here is I chase being an influencer just to still be broke, right? And if anybody else out there is like trying to become an influencer and I say I did that and I was just still broke, they're like, well, fuck, that's going to be a problem. So I have to learn. Number 2, reveal the truth. But now I've achieved X, Y, and Z all because I learned this, right? This is the truth of it all. And I provide the solution, right? I'm talking about it a little, then I say comment 9 hours for a free 9-hour guide. And that's why this video had over 1,270 comments. I think it has over 1,500 comments now. It's insane. It's absolutely insane, all because of this right here. So make sure you write that down. When you want to make good top-of-funnel content, all right, have a hook that opens a thought loop, establish credibility within the first 15 seconds of the video, and the core message structure is state the problem, reveal the truth, and provide a solution. Now, there's many of ways to make top-of-funnel content. This is just a talking head way that's been ripping for me recently. And I highly recommend making talking head content top-of-funnel because it gains you a whole bunch more followers and like the edits and stuff like that. All right, it gains you a lot better followers as well. If you can make viral talking head content, that's how you can really make a lot of money online. Does that make sense? Drop a number 1 in the chat if that helped out. Drop a number 2 if you need me to explain it more. Perfect. Number 2. Okay, let's hear it real quick. I'm going to cover these questions. Daniel Motaha, what are you exactly stuck on when it comes to this? I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Let me hear the question. 4, 5. I like the idea you said about the not natural. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, yeah, a little thing about when it comes to top of funnel content is you just have to be different, right? It's the biggest thing. So it's all about getting somebody to stop their scroll, right? So if watch time and getting somebody to comment and getting somebody to share is like the big thing that's going to help your content do well, you got to always ask yourself, how am I going to shock and awe people, right? How am I going to change people's thoughts and beliefs, right? Because when you do something different, when you tell them something different, when you shift their thoughts and beliefs, that's when people engage. If your content isn't engaging, your content's not going to do well. It's as simple as that, right? And so when you're making top of funnel, it's all about being engaging. It's all about generating conversations, right? And this is what I found has worked. But let's talk about a couple other things here. So like I said, this top of funnel content got me over 400 followers in 3 days from my dream follower. All right, over 400 followers in 3 days. It will probably get me over 1,000 followers the next week from my dream follower. Now, what do I mean by this? All right, let's talk about dream follower versus ICP. So most coaches overcomplicate their ICP. ICP stands for ideal client profile, especially when they don't even have clients who pay $3,000. All right, you can only understand your ideal client profile once you are working with clients you love and that have paid you in full. You can only understand that once you have done that. Right? If you haven't done that, you have no idea who your ICP is, and you cannot speculate it. You can't, but you can figure out who your dream follower is. And this is why I instead like to focus on making content for my dream follower. And so what is a dream follower, right? Your dream follower is a person who resonates with your story, your values, your lifestyle, and your worldview. Someone you genuinely want to connect with on a deep level. And it's a wider subset than your ICP, right? Your ICP lives inside this bigger group. So this pretty much just means when you make content for your dream follower, you are going to attract more people, right? And you'll also naturally attract more of your ICP as well. Because if your content goes more viral, we're going to attract more people, and inherently there's going to be more of your ICP inside of there. If that makes sense. That's why you should be making content for your dream follower at this current spot you're in. If you're under 10, under 20, under 30K a month, you should be making content for your dream follower because you need more views. You need more people following you. You just need more attention. It's that simple. Also, when you speak to your dream follower, like I said, you will naturally pull in more of your ICP. You give the algorithm more surface area to push your content as well because it's going to apply to more people. And your TAM, total applicable market, explodes. And with it, your chances of growing an audience are even better. So questions to define your dream follower are this right here, right? Like, who are they? What's their story? What do they look like socially, emotionally, and financially? And these are really just all like self-reflection questions, to be quite honest with you. If you reflect on these questions personally, you will define your dream follower. Because your dream follower is probably somebody just like you. They may not look like you, they may not sound like you, but they are very similar to you. Also ask yourself, what are they passionate about, right? What are they super passionate about? Are they passionate about fitness, making money, nutrition? Are they passionate about traveling? Are they passionate about making money? What are they super passionate about? Once again, ask yourself, what are you passionate about? Because if you talk about what you're passionate about, guess what? You're going to attract your dream follower. Because nobody talking about being passionate about fishing, nobody who's passionate about fishing is gonna follow somebody who's passionate about the gym, you know? And somebody who's passionate about the gym online, somebody who's passionate about fishing isn't gonna follow this guy, right? What are their goals, their dreams, and their desires? Ask yourself, what are your goals, what are your dreams, and what are your desires? Because the better you communicate those personal stances, the better you're gonna attract your dream follower. What are their deepest fears and reoccurring struggles as well? What do they care about outside of your offer too? I've had some people come to me who are literally just so focused on just attracting their ICP, just talking about their offer, and that's why they don't grow. They don't grow at all because they're not talking about a broader topic, a broader range of things, and that's why their audience is so small. But you need a bigger audience if you want to make more money. It's a simple fact. More attention, more money. Simple as that, right? And so you should be making content, once again, for your dream follower. Don't worry just about making fitness content because guess what? That's boring. Why do you think people are leaving the fitness industry? Because people are growing. People no longer just care about getting in shape. People care about getting in shape, emotionally growing, physically growing, financially growing, growing in their relationships. People care about a broader range of things. And so the better you communicate who you're trying to become in life, your desires, right? Your goals, your dreams, all these different things about you, the more likely you are to not only attract more people, but also attract more of your ICP. So this pretty much just means like expand yourself online. It's as simple as that. If you expand yourself online, you will get more followers. You will get more people who like you, and you will get more people who will buy your stuff. So let's talk about middle funnel content. Middle funnel content is designed to build trust and provide education. Middle funnel is really simple, right? Just make content that covers these 4 pillars of marketing. So these are my personal 4 pillars of marketing. If you cover these 4 pillars in your middle funnel, this is how you can get sales. So first you got to talk about who, right? Make content that communicates who you are. This is your story, right? Your story is what's going to build trust once again. Talk about the what. Make content that communicates what you do. So answer your audience question, which is, what exactly do you help me achieve? And if you can try to do this with showing and not just telling, right? Don't just tell people what you do. Don't just tell people you're a coach. Don't just tell people you help them, lose body fat and build muscle. You got to show them that you do that. Show them through transformations. Show them through client results, right? Show them through your how exactly you did it yourself, right? Show, don't tell. But you got to communicate what you help people do. Talk about why you do this, right? Make content that talks about why you even do this. What is the meaningful reason behind why you want to help people out? Because if people can't find that meaningful reason behind why you help people out, they won't trust you. And they can't get behind anything. Every good business has a mission statement. Every good social media creator has a good mission statement as well. So why are you doing this? It's a question you have to answer. And number 4, how? Make content break it down to how you help people out. Once again, the best way to do this is show. Telling your audience is also still effective, but the best way to do this is show. So what I mean by this is if I'm going to communicate how I help somebody out, for example, I made this one video breaking down a client transformation, right? And I brought them exactly through how I helped them like lose 30 pounds and get on stage within 90 days. I showed them exactly what I did, right? Just because you show the transformation doesn't mean shit. That may talk about what you do, right? You help people get in shape, but people also need to know how you do it. That's providing the education that they need. If you can answer these 4 questions in your middle of funnel content, you will have good middle of funnel content. Who are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? And also, how do you do it? Those are my 4 pillars of marketing. Make sure you have them written down. Make sure you understand them. And answer those questions every single day. Go look through your content profile right now and ask yourself, how well am I communicating who I am? What do I do for people? Why do I do this and how do I do it? All right? Look at the lacking metrics. Maybe you talk a lot about who you are. Maybe you talk a lot about what you do, but you don't talk a lot about why you do it or how you do it. So simply just make more content, talk about why and how. All right? You have an even balance between all of these, because that's when you make content that builds trust and provides education, which is middle of funnel content. Now, bottom of funnel content. So bottom of funnel content is geared towards creating conversations and sales. This means you want to build incredible proof and provide immense clarity. And so the places to do your middle of funnel content is through IG stories, testimonial reels, case study YouTube videos, and of course a VSL. All right. So that middle of funnel content, it's never the content that's going to really get a whole bunch of views. It's not going to do insanely well. But if you look at the people truly crushing it online, they have a good range of this top of funnel, this middle of funnel, and this bottom of funnel content. Right? They don't care about the views. They care about the interest. And I want you to understand that. Don't care about the views. Care about the interest levels of your audience. So how interested actually are they in possibly buying your stuff? And the way to raise those interest levels is to first off make top of funnel that gets people to follow you, middle of funnel that gets people to know who you are, what do you do, why do you do it, and how do you do it, and bottom of funnel content that provides incredible proof and provides immense clarity on how you help them out. All right? Because those are those pieces of content where people are like, the people who are super close to buying, once they watch it, they're like, okay, this is what I need. All right? You showcase a transformation, and it really relates to that person. They're like, damn, this person's just like me. He's 30 pounds overweight just like me. And he was struggling with procrastination just like I was. Right? But then he lost that weight, and he's a completely different human being. Once they see that bottom of funnel piece of content, that's when like it clicks. And they're like, okay, this is what I need. Ryan's the right coach to go to. Right? Macy's the right coach to go to, if that makes sense. And once again, these are the best places to place it. Right? So bottom of funnel content, it's pretty much sharing client results, your personal results if you don't have any clients, talking about exactly how you help people out, and then testimonials as well. Like that's pretty much what it is. It's offer breakdown, results, and that's pretty much it, right? And the best place to put those is IG stories. Actually put it in your reels like I did right here. Case study YouTube videos is going to be the best. If you actually take the time to sit down to make a long form YouTube video breaking down somebody's transformation, that's the best case scenario. And also inside of your video sales letter, all right, going more into depth right over there. And so don't try and reinvent the wheel when it comes to content creation. Now that we just went over top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, you may be sitting there asking yourself, well, fuck, what do I post there now? Does anyone feel like that? Does anyone feel like, okay, I get top of funnel, I get middle of funnel, but I'm like, I don't know how to exactly make that, Ryan. Anyone feel like that? Type number 1 in the chat. Like, oh, I'm not really sure. Number 2, if you're like, no, I got this. Number 1, if you're still not really sure. Number 2, if you're like, no, I got this. I want to hear. Because if you're number 1, this next part's going to really help you out. Number one. For 3 people, there's a lot of you guys in here. Okay, this part's going to really help you out. So we went over top of funnel, we went over middle, and we went over bottom, right? You guys understand these content sections now, right? These sections of the content funnel. But how do you actually make content for them now? Guys, it's so simple. Don't reinvent the wheel. Right here is a diagram of my short form content creation guide. And it's very simple. There's 3 steps to it. Number 1, you just have to get clear on an idea. So either get clear on like, okay, I need to post a top of funnel, or I need to post a middle of funnel, or I need to post a bottom of funnel, or even get clear on the content pillar, right? So there's sections of the funnel, but there's also content pillars, which we will go over. To spoil it, there's connection content, there's education content, there's results content, there's lifestyle content, and then there's mindset content, which is like coaching content, right? These are content pillars. Get clear on what you need to post. So play the game of social media like a chessboard. Go look at your profile and ask yourself, what do I need to post? If you need to grow, you need top of funnel. If you need to nurture your audience, you need middle of funnel. And if you need to convert your audience, you need bottom of funnel, right? Get clear on that. So get clear on the idea first. First off, what game plan do you need to play? Second, reverse similar viral content or similar content people have already done. So once you get an idea, I want you to go out there and do market research. Create a hit list of like 5 creators, right? People you look up to, people doing better than you online, right? Create that hit list. And simply just go look at their content, right? Go look at their top of funnel. Go look at their middle of funnel. Go look at their bottom of funnel. Go look at their content that's connection content. Go look at their content that is mindset content, right? Go look at their content and find a piece of content that they uploaded that you have to upload, right? And reverse engineer that piece of content. Only if it did well. Only if it did well. So I think most people in here are probably needing to do like top of funnel content and like middle of funnel, right? You need to grow. You need to nurture your audience. And so once again, find 5 creators in your niche or even outside of it that are doing well and go look at their content and find something that worked for them. Reverse engineer it. Look at the value inside of the video. Look at the format of the video. Try to understand why people are engaging with it. Try to understand what they did there. Look at the hooks, right? Just kind of gather this information about what they did there because clearly they know something that you don't because they're ahead of you, right? So you want to reverse engineer that, then make your own. You're going to take that understanding from that market research. You're going to take your own idea and message, and you're going to make your own unique and quality content. It's as simple as that. A lot of people are trying to reverse engineer content. Or, no, they're trying to reinvent the wheel. You know, they're trying to completely do something new. But like, if there's content out there that's already working, why not just reverse engineer it and make it your own? It's like, in a way, say steal it, but don't steal it. I don't want you guys to copy. I do want you guys to steal like an artist, though. Right? That like literally like that's how I get good at content. My first couple of years, it was heavily just imitating what other people did. Right? And then as I truly started to understand it, I was able to make my own. But I still do market research to this day. I still ask myself, what are other people doing that is working better? Why is the top of funnel doing well? Why is the middle of funnel? Why is the bottom of funnel doing well? Right? And I go study it. I go look at it. And then I make it my own. That's the best way to make content that's proven to work. Do you guys get that? Did that provide you clarity? Who moved from a number 1 to a number 2 now? Because a lot of you guys had number 1. Who moved from a 1 to a 2? Yeah, you're a 2 now? Okay, good. Good. That's good to hear. Don't reinvent the wheel, man. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just go study what works and then make it your own. Now, let's talk about content pillars, because in order to have a good content funnel that works, you need to have a well-balanced content ecosystem. And there's really about 5 content pillars out there. There's of course more, but for you guys, there's 5 out there. So number 1 is going to be connection content. This is content that kind of gets people to say, like, I see myself in this guy. Right? The purpose of this is to make your audience feel understood, connected to you, and emotionally drawn to your story and beliefs. Examples of this may be like your personal transformation story, or just even your personal story, raw vulnerability talks, stay in the lives, shared struggles, value-driven content, so talking about what you stand for, what you stand against. This is all connection content. Number 2 is education and value content. So this type of content builds trust and provides education, so this is more middle of funnel. And what you're trying to get the viewer to say is, every time I watch this content, I feel like I learned something useful, right? And this will position you as an authority, as an expert, as a coach, right? This education and value content. Through solving micro problems and making your audience say, like, damn, I never thought about it that way, or damn, this guy's useful, or damn, he's valuable. So example of this is like how to, practical and tactical content. How to grow bigger biceps, how to track your macros, how to lose 30 pounds of fat in 90 days, right? How to stick to your goals, how to overcome procrastination. This is education and value content. Mindset shifting content, teaching your frameworks and systems, mistakes and myths, many case studies, etc. This is all trust building content. The third pillar we have over here is credibility content. So this is just social proof and results. So showing what you say and do actually works, right? So all of you guys are going to have this offer. Are you guys going to say you do something, but you actually have to show that it works, right? So the purpose of this is to show undeniable evidence that your coaching works, to destroy any skepticism people may have, right? Social proof creates belief faster than your own words, And content creates FOMO by showing others getting results without them. So this is literally just client wins, video testimonials, case studies, reposting client stories and stuff like that. Like, this is all credibility content. Down here we have coaching content. So coaching content is shifting thoughts and beliefs. That's the definition of coaching, shifting thoughts and beliefs. And this is really good content to make for everybody out there, because you're not selling a service, you're selling a new identity. When people want to get in shape, when people want to join a fitness coach, they aren't buying the service, they are buying a new self-identity. That's the biggest thing. And so if you can't shift their self-identity or get them to see who they could become inside your content, you're going to struggle to sell people. All right? So showcase your ability to rewire your audience's limiting beliefs, your ability to shift their internal self-image and pre-frame them to need your solution. This is one of the best content pillars to upload in is an online coach. Of course, coaching content. So what is this though? Bold talking head reels. Boldly talking about what you stand for and what you stand against. Because most people who need a coach are simply just lost. They're not sure what to stand for. They're not sure what to stand against. They have no guardrails. They have no guidance in their life. And that's what they need you for. Personal stories with learning lessons embedded inside of them. This showcases your ability to actually overcome your own problems. Vision casting, talking about who you could become in life, challenge of the ego. People listen to you when you call them out in their lives and stuff like that. So talking about like even procrastination is a great one. That's one way to challenge the ego is, procrastination is fake. You simply just don't have the ability to take action, which is the truth. A lot of people say, oh, I'm just a procrastinator. But the truth behind procrastination is you just don't take action, right? You don't follow through on your word. And that's a lot more tangible. That's going to shift somebody's thoughts and beliefs and maybe actually help them out through that content. Then we got lifestyle and being the character content. This is pretty much branding content. So it's getting people to say, I aspire to live like that. Purpose of this is to show what life would look like on the other side of the transformation you are promising and flexing that. Right? So when I say I help people build a great God physique even with bad genetics, and I upload an amazing flexing video or just living life, I'm painting the identity that people will become when they buy my service, if that makes sense. Right? This is what some of the best coaches do, is they paint the future identity their clients can achieve in life. So this is important content as well. You can do day in the lives, gym/lifestyle clips, winning moments, talking heads, painting a picture, talk about your mindset, talk about real life scenarios, how you just got compliments, the gas station for being in shape, traveling, freedom, behind the scenes, stuff like that. Like, this is lifestyle and being the character content. So these are the main 5 pillars you want to understand and pulse within. And the best way to utilize these is go through your content ecosystem right now and simply just ask yourself, what is my ecosystem missing? Right? What is it missing? And to post more of it. So you may say, well, I have plenty of education and value content. Well, then you need more connection, you need more branding, you need more coaching content, right? You want to have an even spread of all these pillars to hit all the right psychological touch points. Is that making sense for everybody? Drop in number 1. Drop in number 1 if that's making sense. Drop in number 2 if you're not fully getting it yet. You guys see, okay, right. So once you understand content pillars, you can look at your content profile and be like, okay, this is what I need to upload more of. Perfect. So like I said, you want to have an even spread of all of this. Always be analyzing your content ecosystem on a weekly basis and ask yourself, what am I missing? Do I need more connection? Do I need more trust content? And fill that gap. Now, if you want to make 6 figures as an online fitness coach, what you need is a 6-figure personal brand. And a brand's value is no longer determined by how massive it is. It's determined by how much interest is cultivated through its content, which may seem like views and followers, but it's really not. All right, so if you want to make 6 figures with your personal brand, it's not about how massive it is. It's about how much interest it's cultivated through its content. All right, how helpful it actually is. So here are the 7 questions to ask yourself to build a better brand. All right, because if building a good brand is all about creating more interest, then you got to understand what's going to create that interest, what's going to actually create that depth. That's the biggest thing, because you can get followers without having depth. Matter of fact, the way to get followers is to not have depth, because most people are just coming online for humor and funny shit. And as soon as you talk about something that's actually helpful, nobody watches it, right? But that's fine, because if 5 people like that piece of content that has depth to it, well, those are 5 people who actually like content that has depth to it, and those are the people who are probably going to buy, right? So we do need to wax and wane between like doing the more shallow stuff to get views and get followers, but then also putting in content that has more depth, that's actually going to cultivate interest within our audience. And here what I find are the best 7 questions. This is what I start every single client off with when they first come on. Is there's actually 11 questions to this, but I summarized it for you guys. These are like the 7 most important ones. So everyone's got to start with clarity, right? You got to ask yourself, what is your desired outcome with your personal brand? Right? What do you want to achieve, right? So it could be simple as, I want to make $30K a month helping people overcome procrastination, drop 30 pounds of body fat, and become insanely confident. Like, it can be as simple as that. You know, what I want to do is I want to make 30, like I'm just saying for me, I want to make 30 grand a month off fitness coaching, helping men step on stage. You know, I think it's amazing. It's something I really want to, I like to do, and I want to help other men do. So my desired outcome is make 30 grand a month helping people step on stage. Then you ask yourself, well, what do I need to be known for in order to make that happen? Well, for me, I got to be known for somebody who knows how to get somebody on stage. I got to be known for being a bodybuilder. I got to be known for going through bodybuilding prep. I could be known for getting people first place wins in their first show, right? So what do you need to be known for in order to achieve your outcome? And the third one is where you get actionable. What actions must I consistently take to reinforce that reputation? So if you got to build this reputation to achieve this outcome, what actions must you consistently take to build that reputation? That's where you get actionable with it. So everyone here has to discover the desired outcome. Where do you want to go? Because if you aren't clear on where you want to go, how are you ever going to make content that provides a path to people who are lost? Right? People are coming to you as a coach because they need guidance. They need to know where to go in life. They're lost themselves. And so if you aren't clear yourself, people aren't going to buy from you. So where do you want to go? What do you need to be known for? And then what actions must you take to build that reputation? Number 2, what do you stand for? Right? So these become pretty much the guardrails for your identity online. Right? Because identity is built by understanding what somebody stands for and what they stand against, right? And that's how branding is built as well. A good brand simply just has strong associations with things and against things. Like, that's it. I always explain this analogy, like if you go to the store and you're trying to pick up your favorite toothpaste, like Colgate, typically it's red and white. But if they change up the branding to black and white, you're going to look at Colgate and you're going to say, it says Colgate, but it doesn't look like Colgate. Right? And so you need to have a clear identity. And the way to paint identity online is communicating what you stand for and what you stand against. And so you want to identify 3 to 5 things you stand for and 3 to 5 things you stand against, and then make sure you talk about it in your content, right? So your examples may be like you stand for being authentic, you stand for staying natural, you stand for raw documentation online, you stand for not tracking your macros. But you may stand against being a degenerate. You may stand against just going viral. You may stand against unsustainable dieting. All right? Getting clear on what you stand for and what you stand against is incredibly important. So when you upload content, it's within those guidelines. And you effectively build the right identity online. So get clear on what you stand for, what you stand against. 3 is build your belief statements. Right? It's the most important thing. Is what do you believe in? Right? If you're trying to paint a coaching identity online, what you're trying to do is you're trying to be a leader. And every single good leader has good belief statements, okay? So you got to effectively communicate, what do you believe in? Examples may be, you don't need a perfect workout program to get in shape. You just need to change your lifestyle. It's very similar to Ari. He's not big on like nutrition and training. He's really big on lifestyle changes when it comes to his coaching clients, right? Another one may be, I don't wake up at 5 a.m. because I want to. I wake up at 5 a.m. so I have to go to sleep earlier because temptation's hot at night. Like, that's a belief statement. It's something you believe in that's different. All right? And when you communicate those things, people start to understand what you believe in. And once again, that's how you attract your dream follower. That's how you find your ICP as well. Because your ICP, your dream followers, people who believe in things just like you. All right? I don't want anybody to buy my shit who doesn't have similar beliefs as me. Because I only want to work with people I like. Number 4, define your transformation. So actually get clear on the transformations you can provide for people, right? Get clear on the internal transformation you are creating. Get clear on the external transformation you're creating. And also get clear on the long-term identity shift that transformation is creating as well. Because the more clear you are on those 3 things, the more you can communicate it in your content. right? And people need to understand that. People need to understand what transformation are you helping them create. If they don't, they're never going to buy your shit, right? So when you're clear on your internal problems, right, the internal transformation you're creating, you can make content talking about that. And people can now understand how you actually help them shift their mindset. When you get clear on the external problems or the external transformations you are creating, people can get clear on how you're going to help them out physically. And once again, when you get clear on the identity shift you're helping people create, you can communicate that through your content, and people can say, oh, I get how he's helping me change, and I want to make that change, so I'm going to buy his stuff. Number 5, position yourself authentically. So, like I said, everybody is trying to get online. Everybody's trying to become an online coach. But here's the thing, not a lot of people are doing it well. Not a lot of people are different. A lot of people are just like copy paste of other people. And so if you want to stand out, you need to understand what is different about you, what makes you authentically you. And you got to play into that. And you may say to yourself right now, well, I've tried to be authentic online. It hasn't worked in the past. It just simply means you have to get more authentic. You have to get more you, honestly. Seriously, it will help you grow. The more authentic I've gotten in my content, the more I have grown, the better my brand has been. Look at someone like TGR. He is so different. He is so authentic. He is so him. And that's why his personal brand is so strong, because he's just him. He's not trying to be anybody else. And when you're a one-of-one person, nobody can replicate you. And if you understand supply and demand, the less supply of something, the more demand of something, right? So if there's just one of you, guess what? Nobody can go anywhere else to find what you're saying, to find what you stand for, to find what you stand against, right? And that's how you stand out. So write down like one sentence that makes you different, or just identify what makes you different and play into that. It's super important. Then 6, non-negotiables. So if you want people to see you in a coaching frame, a coaching identity, you got to understand what you refuse to compromise on, right? What are your non-negotiables? Because when people buy a coach, people want you to keep them accountable. And if you don't have non-negotiables in your life, how are you going to keep them accountable? How are you going to change their life? People want that structure when they buy your shit. So examples may be, you wake up at 5 a.m. every single day. You track your macros every single day. You do the work even when you're tired. Like, these are non-negotiables you may have. And then all you have to do is communicate them through your content. Because your audience doesn't just buy your product. They buy your standards. That's what they're buying into. They're buying into that new identity. And that new identity has higher standards. So you got to communicate those standards. And number 7, craft your story. So a lot of people, I find, they struggle to get clear on how to actually talk about their story. And here's like a simple 3-step process, is identify where you were prior to this transformation, right? Internally, physically, and identity-wise, right? Ask yourself then, what changed? What was the catalyst to this change, right? What exactly happened? What was the fuck this event is like to talk about? And then where are you now, right? What transformation came from this catalyst? So where were you, what happened, and then where are you now? That's the simple way to craft your story. And then to talk about it within your content. You could literally just make videos sitting down at the camera like I did for 7 fucking minutes, and it got 500 likes, which is amazing for a 7-minute video, right? It's the simple way you can bring people through a story you have been through and actually communicate it well. But this is important because stories create connection. Connection builds trust, and trust is what sells, right? And if people can see themselves in your shoes and they can understand what change you made, then they're more likely to make that change as well. People have to relate to you in order to buy your stuff. If they can't relate to you, they will not buy your stuff. It's the most important thing because they don't believe they can do it. Let's talk about content levers. So putting this all together, now that you understand all of this right here, this is going to help you understand what lever to pull to fix the bottleneck you're currently facing, right? So there's typically 3 bottlenecks. You either have a view bottleneck, you don't have enough people who know who you are. You have a lead and higher quality lead bottleneck. It's like you have people who know who you are, but people just don't have the money. They're like, I got to think about it. This is too much on the calls. Or you have a conversion problem, right? You don't have enough calls being booked. You have plenty of views. You have plenty of people in your audience who could potentially buy, but you just aren't getting people on calls. Here's how to fix it. If you got views, you need more entertainment content. More shallow content. It's the truth. You need more top of funnel content to get more views, to get more followers. Simple as that, right? If that's solved, right, and you have a lead and higher quality lead problem, you're simply just like, hey, these people don't got money or I don't got any leads. You need education content, so middle of funnel content, right? And if you aren't getting conversions, people aren't coming to your DMs, people aren't booking in calls, people aren't getting on calls, people aren't buying, you have an advertisement problem. And so you need more bottom of funnel content, All right. Hopefully that makes sense. Those are the levers to pull. Once again, I want you to be able to play the game of social media like a chessboard. So give me a number 1 in the chat if after going over these content levers you feel more confident in your ability to pull the right one. Your sound and video keeps breaking up. Has anybody else experienced that? No? Okay. All good? Cool. I'm plugged into the router, so I should be good. Okay, all good. This recording will be up after in case it broke up at all. It's probably your Wi-Fi though. So the goal is to not have to post daily or constantly be thinking of new ideas. This is why I track all of my top of funnel content, so I never have to ask myself what works, and I can guarantee growth each and every single month. And this was exactly how I got some of my clients to gain 5 to 30,000 plus followers in just 30 days, just through doing this. All right, so I have a spreadsheet. It is inside of the free school. Remember, there is a free school I recently threw up. This spreadsheet is inside of there. You can go get it for yourself. But I track all of my top of funnel content. So any content that got over like 40 to 50,000 views, I track inside the spreadsheet. Right? And so whenever I need content ideas, whenever I need to know what does well for me, I simply just go to the spreadsheet and I can just instantly tell what works well. And I can just go recreate it. Once again, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Once you find things that work, just stick to it until it no longer works. And it's probably going to work for a while. So just do more of it. The biggest mistake a lot of creators make, and just a lot of people in general make, is they find something that works and they don't do more of it. Like, you're a complete dumbass. You got this one video that had 100,000 views and you haven't recreated it. You got this one video that this one client bought from, but you haven't recreated it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Repeat successful actions. That's how you scale, is you do more of what works and you do less of what doesn't work, right? So track everything. Track everything. Track all of your content. That's how I get those guys to grow. I simply just looked at their content and I was like, hey, this is working right here. Do more of it. Oh, but what if I'm too repetitive? Who cares? You're trying to gain new followers. Those new followers have never seen that content before, so it's not repetitive. And people also need repetition to start to get it. Also, quality middle of funnel and bottom of funnel content is not determined by you. It's not at all. You're not the person who determines what is valuable to your audience. Your audience, your clients especially, is who determines what's valuable. And so something we do is we always send out an onboarding form to everybody who comes on, and we ask them a couple simple questions. We first off get to know their goals inside, right? We actually want to know what they want to achieve because we can make more content talking about the desire to get more people in. We want to know what their dream business looks like, so we can talk about, building a business in this way from the people who bought. We want to know their biggest bottlenecks, once again, so we can make more content overcoming those objections or fixing those problems. We want to also know what content initially attracted them in. That's a big thing. What content initially attracted this person who paid in full in? And it was the honesty about using tests, all right? So I'm going to make more of that. Then we ask, why did you decide to go with Ryan and PR Accelerator versus the competition? So it was my story, right? My story is why they bought in. Okay, so my story is why they went with us, not the competition, so let me make more of that. And then what's one thing that stood out about us and our mentorship/program so far? And it was the testimonials. So this is incredible data of what's working and what we need to do more of, and also more of what we got to talk about, right? The best place to get data is from the people closest to you, right? The people who have especially bought, but also the followers who are simply most engaged, because those people are going to tell you what you're doing well. So you got to ask your clients these questions. If you have clients right now, if you haven't asked them these questions, you need to go ask them these questions. If you have really loyal supporting followers who are like this close to buying, go ask them questions. Why do you follow me? What do you like about me? What content initially attracted you in, right? Because with that data, you can scale. And also pay attention. I should say paying attention to the feedback is how you scale. So what I've heard from all of my clients is like, Ryan, it was your story that got me to buy in. Like I saw all the other stuff. I saw the transformation. I saw the tests. I saw the testimonies, blah, blah, blah. But it was really your story. And so what did I do? I made more videos about my story. I made a full 50-minute video on my YouTube talking about my story. I make more videos on my Instagram talking about my story because that's what's helping me get to where I want to go. So I'm going to make more of it, right? Make sense? Also, objections are content gold. A lot of people are scared of objections. This can be objections inside the DMs, objections on sales calls. Those are amazing. When you get objections, that's amazing because that's content gold. And I share this example right here because this one's funny. So I posted this video, all that staying natural for my health just to still rot in the ground one day. It was funny. I was trying to push somebody close to me to get on a little bit of test, and after watching this video, he got on a little bit of test. So there was an objection. I was like, this piece of content's gonna help him overcome it, and it literally did. Like, I knew it when I posted it. I was like, I know this piece of content's gonna help this specific person overcome this objection, and it did. Right? This is just a funny scenario that I want to share, but like, when you understand what's gonna help somebody get over that hedge, get over that bump, to finally take that action you want them to take, right? That's when you can go make really good content. And so what isn't tracked can't be improved on. If you aren't tracking all of these things, you can't improve, you can't scale. Here's a really good scenario. This is Ari Sales Tracker. This is only like 2 or 3 months of Ari Sales Tracker though. And see all these colors right here? This is the stage. So these are all the calls he took from 514 to, let's see, I think it says 8 down there or something like that. So a couple months, and you can see these are all 1, while these are kind of like disqualified, follow-up call. A couple of them are 1, but really just not the best close rate and stuff like that. And only because we tracked all of these metrics were we able to actually take the correct actions to adjust our outcome. You can't adjust your outcome if you don't know what to adjust. So you gotta track everything. You gotta track your content. You gotta track your DMs. You gotta track your sales calls. You gotta track your clients. You gotta track everything, because what isn't tracked can't be improved on. So what do? We looked at why they didn't buy. We looked at the sales call recording. First off, we perfected his sales. And then once he was good at sales, well, that cleared a lot of things up. But then we can also see why all these people bought. Okay, from the overeating video was a big one. So we made more overeating videos. That's how we found his ICP. We didn't know his ICP right away. We found his ICP by understanding who paid in full. When we saw this 5.5K paid in full coming from an overeating video, that's where we're like, well, this is exactly what we got to make more of. And people wonder how he's making $30,000, $40,000 every single month. It's because he knows what does well, right? And a lot of you guys just don't repeat successful actions. You don't track what does well. Also, sales calls are not about convincing people to buy from you. They're either to sign somebody up or to get data on what you need to work on. It's one or the other. Literally, it's one or the other. It's either to sign somebody up or to take the call and understand what you need to work on. So Ari dropped this message the other day. He said 6 paid in fulls in a row. 21K collected without being told no since November 15th. How do you think that happened? You think that was just because he was on fire on sales? No. It may have been a little bit about it, but it's simply just because he had all those losses, he tracked all those losses, and he made the correct adjustments to become a winner, right? It's as simple as that. He understood what worked well, what got those paid in fulls, and did more of that. And he also understood what didn't get people to pay in full, did less of that. He made the correct adjustments. That's why he had 6 paid in fulls in a row. Now, talk about objections. Here's a little universal flow in case you get it. And you got to follow this either way to not only overcome an objection, because like you still will get them. It's not like Ari doesn't get objections at the end of the call, because objections are simply just limiting beliefs most of the time. But you also got to follow this to understand what the real objection is. Because if somebody says, oh, I got to think about it, I got to wait to get paid, or it's too much, that's not a real objection. It never is, right? If people really want something, they will figure out how to make it happen. So you want to follow this either way to get clear on what the real objection is. So here's how to do it. If you get an objection, totally get that, man. I get you got to think about it. Sounds responsible, but what specifically do you have to think about? Actually joining the program or like the price of it all? Oh, the price of it all, blah, blah, blah. Then confirm belief. Okay, based on what we cover, do you feel like this is exactly what you need? Like money aside, would you join today? Yeah, I would totally get it today. Awesome. So you confirmed that they want it. It's just, it's the money thing, right? Exposed cost of inaction. So I'm just curious, like what happens, a couple of months from now if nothing changes? If we continue to allow money to limit us and we don't get the help we need, all right? Expose the cost of inaction. Well, man, I really do make the change, and I guess the money really isn't super important, and blah, blah, blah. Identity reframe. Gotcha. So what would the version of yourself, who has achieved this result right here, whatever it may be, what would he do right now? And they'll always say, well, he would just take the action right now. He would join right now. Decision props. So what's the move? Logistics, debit, or credit. This is the universal flow. Make sure you take a screenshot of this or write it down. This is amazing right here if you follow it properly. But this will not only help you overcome objections, but second off, help you find the real objection, right? You may find the real objection simply be like people are uncomfortable to pay that much, right? And so if people are uncomfortable to pay you $3,000, well, then guess what? You make more bottom of funnel content, more middle of funnel content, providing more trust. right? Showcasing more people being in your program. Now the trust is like all-time high, if that makes sense. Once again, what isn't tracked, what isn't understood, can't be improved on, right? You have to find the real problems in your business in order to fix them. And a lot of people are scared of those real problems sometimes. Number 4, Instagram stories. So buyer psychology has gotten a lot more complicated as of recently, and the good old 5-pillar story flow is still useful, but it's outdated and used too much. So if you've looked into like any coaches online or any mentors who teach you how to coach and whatever, they talk about this 5-pillar story flow. It's like the generic story flow for everybody out there. I've used this as well, and it's still good. It's still good. I still run it some days. The 5-pillar story flow is super simple. It's literally just like documenting your day-to-day life, like showing your wake up, providing value, show yourself working on yourself, or a client work post, a client win, or a self-win post, and a coaching post following the show, expand, and dig method. This is really simple. I've broken it down multiple times. This is still useful, but it's a little bit outdated. And recently I've discovered a couple of unique IG story flows that have 3 to 5 times my views and lead generation. So when I'm typically following that generic story flow, I'll get like 1,500 to 2,500 views. It really depends, which is really low. And it makes sense because I'm uploading like 10 times a day, so the first one gets a couple thousand and the rest get none. But now that I've been starting to implement this, my stories get 15,000 views, 12,000 views, right? It's insane. And I want to break it down for you guys because this will really help you get a lot more leads. So here's the story flow framework for high conversion. It's called the trust and lead story flow. And the way it works is you bait them at first, then you do a video CTA, then you provide some proof, and then the final push CTA. It's really simple. This is the exact story flow. They got me like 12,000 views and just around 40 conversations started, 40 inbound leads. Now, I want you to understand, 1 inbound lead a day is all you need to make a lot of money. That's all. That's what most people get, is like 1 to 2 inbound leads a day. Imagine getting 40 in a day. I probably got like 50 or 60 inbound leads that week. So this, it will really help out a lot. So the bait is simply just an aesthetic photo, like a photo that has done well in the past for you with text that sparks curiosity. So I threw up this photo right here and I said, I don't do this often. People are instantly like, what does he do? They're liking with it, they're engaging. It's a good photo as well, so people are sharing it and stuff like that. It's getting good engagement. That's the bait. And then we do a video CTA, which is, it pretty much goes like this. Hey guys, I'll be in my DMs in the next couple of hours answering questions. Or how does it exactly go? So you actually want to say it like this. Hey, what's going on, guys? So I got a little bit of free time today. Typically, I'm super busy with client work and, working on myself and stuff like that. But I'm going to be in my DMs in the next couple of hours answering questions. If you have any questions on fitness, on nutrition, on mindset, on habits, or on anything just like this, feel free to shoot me a question. All you got to do is slide up and type it right here. And I'll be in my DMs the next couple of hours, providing some free training. Simple as that. Just letting people know you got some time today. They can DM you if they have any questions. And this is what got over 40 inbound leads just doing this, because it got so many views. It got a lot of my audience to see it. And then we provide some proof, which is showcasing some results and incentivizing people to reach out. So I go, by the way, this is the results people have gotten with our info. I'll be in my DMs the next couple of hours, then I get hit the gym. Feel free to reach out. And it provides some credibility. This thing works super well. Bait them, CTA them. Hey man, I'm on my DMs the next couple of hours. Feel free to ask me questions. Provide some proof, showcase your own transformation or client's transformations. You will get so many inbound leads. And this is just one of the story flows we run. There's 4 or 5 specific ones that I run and I teach my clients to run as well to get a lot more conversions. Because like I said, this one up here, the regular story flow of just document life, it's good. But if you really want to go for conversions, you really want to go for conversations, you really want to make some money, you got to become a lot more intentional about what you're posting in your story. Because more people will see it. And if more people see it, guess what? You will get more conversations. You will get more leads. So this one's really good. I highly recommend you guys run it. Who here feel like they're struggling with their offer and communicating it through their content? I want to hear. How do you do this with testimonials? Yeah. So it's a great way to put it. With the testimonials, I would do... I would just storytell is the best way to put it. I would simply just talk about, the best way to do it is through a video. The best way to do it through a video, right? But it's going to be, I actually have it. Let me pull it up here really quick. So the setup, the old identity. So you're going to talk about where, John first came in, what he was going through, the process, what you did to fix that, the outcome, the proof, and then soft CTA. So the setup is all about, here's who John was before, right? Showcase that. So you get the viewer to possibly relate to that and be intrigued, to be like, oh, this guy's just like me. Here's what we did exactly, break it down in depth on exactly what you did to make that transformation, and the outcome, right? Show him now. And that's going to take a viewer through the perfect psychological journey to relate to that, to trust that, and to find it valuable. All right. So yeah, drop a number 1 here if you feel like you struggle with kind of like your offer and communicating that through your content. Drop a number 2 if you like are pretty clear on that. I want to see where you guys are at. Number 1, okay, good. This will be valuable then. So the truth is that I help statement inside of your bio is not your offer. Like your offer is not the I help statement. Your offer is your content. That's what your offer is. Your offer is your content. Every piece of content either adds to your offer or takes away from it. And let me explain. So this is a plain and simple offer statement. All right, I help specific person with specific struggle achieve a specific outcome, and you can possibly add with unique mechanism. All right, so Ari's simple one is like, I help busy adults sustainably burn fat and build muscle without the bullshit. That's a simple and plain offer, right? This is a simple and plain offer that helps somebody go from current situation to a desired outcome with that offer. Now, how a content offer works, and this is way more important to understand because once again, it doesn't matter what you say, right? It doesn't matter what you say. Proof over promise. That's the biggest thing. And so if you can't communicate your offer through like all of your content, people won't get it. People won't understand your offer. Doesn't matter what your bio says. It matters what you say inside the content. It matters what's going on inside of there. So here's the more complex content offer. All right, so on the left side over here, you're going to see struggles, experiences, and FTE stands for like fuck this event. In the middle, you see offer. On the right, you see goals and direction. Bottom down here, we see clear process of results. When you make content, connecting all of these things together, you don't got to do it in every single piece of content, but when you make content, connecting these things together, that's when you make content that effectively talks about your offer, right? So if your offer is helping busy adults sustainably burn fat and build muscle without the bullshit, then you got to be making content talking about the struggle of burning fat and building muscle while being a busy adult, and then overcoming that by following these things, this clear process of results, and now you've achieved this, right? Because what does an offer do? It helps somebody go from a bad situation to a good situation. Helps somebody go from a situation that they don't want to be in to a situation they want to be in. And so if your content doesn't help them bridge that gap, then they don't understand your offer. And so a lot of your content has to be helping people bridge a gap so people start to understand your offer. Because once again, it doesn't matter what you say, it matters, can you help them? Do they feel like they're being helped? Do they understand it inside of their mind on a deep level? Did they watch a minute piece of content that perfectly broke down how you help them out, right? And so you got to be making content about all of these things, talking about your struggles, talking about your past experiences, talking about your fuck this event. Be making content about exactly how you have personally bridged this gap or exactly how you have helped your client bridge this gap, right? Be making content about what you have achieved and also where you're heading in life. Right? And once you start making content connecting all these things together, you're making content that effectively communicates your offer. Now, this is quite complicated, so definitely save some questions towards the end, because once you guys understand this, things will really rip. Now, here's a real-life example. All right? I just explained Ari's simple offer, but let's talk about his top of funnel, his middle funnel, and bottom funnel offerings. So, because his simple offers, I help busy adults sustainably burn fat and keep it off forever, his top of funnel offerings, which are just like short to the point offerings, are going to be things talking about that. 6 things I do after a high calorie weekend to minimize fat gain. Really simple. It's a 7-second video. Where are the things I do to not overeat? 5 filling fast foods under 600 calories with over 40 grams of protein. These are really short pieces of content that directly relate to his offer. Now we get the middle funnel offerings, which are a little bit longer and more in-depth offerings, right? So he's talking about staying shredded while traveling, right? If somebody has this problem of getting fat while traveling, not sure what to do while traveling, and they have the goal of to stay in shape while traveling, right? That's going to be a perfect offer inside this video for somebody. They're going to really understand exactly how Ari can help them out because he's breaking it down well, right? An offer is just how he can help somebody out. So when you're bridging gaps in your content on a daily basis, people start to understand more about how you help them out. And especially in the bottom of funnel offerings, which are like full-fledged guides breaking down specifically how you help somebody out, like really in depth. Right? So he has these long-form YouTube videos really helping people bridge that gap between where they are and where they want to go, and helping them understand exactly what to do to bridge that gap. Right? And so when you put it all together, you have a perfect VSL like this. This VSL has contributed to probably over $100,000 into Ari's pocket. It's how to get in shape or get a 9-to-5 office job, no bullshit guide. All right? And this has worked so well because he hit all of these touch points. He talked about his past struggles. He talked about his negative experiences in the past, what he used to struggle with. He talked about his fuck this event when he finally decided to make the change, right? And he talked about what he's achieved and where he's heading in life, and then he shared his clear process of results. It hit all of the touch points of the offer inside of this video, and that's why it sold so well. That's why it's his video sales letter, because it hits all of those touch points. And he gets on the call with people and like perfectly pitches them, right? The perfect fit pitch is where you simply just tailor your offer perfectly towards somebody, which you can learn through one of my sales videos on my YouTube, right? But that is really, really how you gotta be making your content because of the 7-11-4 rule, right? To convert a viewer into a buyer, according to Google, it takes an average 7 hours of content consumed on 11 different touch points in 4 different locations. And if you aren't making content helping people bridge the gap, all right, they won't understand your offer. They can watch 7 hours of your content in 11 different touch points in 4 different locations, but if that content has nothing to do with how you can help people out, isn't bridging the gap, it isn't communicating your offer, they're never going to buy. But once you have those 7 hours of content, right, and you're getting the hit 11 different touch points in 4 different locations, you're making this content on Instagram, you're making it on stories, you're making it on YouTube, you're making it on TikTok. That's when you really fucking sell, bro. That's when you really sell. So this is why you need to have your offer nailed down, so you can talk about it on many different platforms in many different formats for hours. It's all about offer. Now we're going to get into high testosterone sales. This is the last step here. Hang on here. So if you want your email to look like this, you need to understand the truth behind sales. This is how my emails look. Looks pretty fucking sick. Sales is the transfer of trust and belief. So people will send you money when their trust and belief battery is fully filled up. When a new person comes into your audience, they're right here. When somebody buys, they're over here. A lot of you guys, a lot of people in your audience are like right here. They're between the red and kind of like the orange battery. And what you want to do is get them all the way up here so they start buying. And that's all done by fulfilling enough trust and belief. So I see a lot of coaches get burnt out because they hop on calls, no one closes or pays in full, and they think they have a sales problem or a lead problem. But what has gotten me and my clients to make 6 figures is asking yourselves better questions. Simple as that. And so if I get on a call with somebody and they don't close, I simply just ask myself, what do I need to do in order to fill up the trust and belief battery more? Simple as that. What do I need to do? They didn't close, oh well. What do I need to do to make sure more people close? So I want to share with you some things we do inside of our system to fulfill that trust and belief battery. First, more repetition of the content that has charged other people's batteries and bought. So like I said earlier, we ask all of our clients, why did they buy? Why did they follow us? Why did they go with us versus our competition? And we simply just take a look at that and repeat more of that content. Number 2, pushing more people to watch my long form / doubling down on my long form posting, right? I understand the 7-11-4 rule. If people consume 7 hours of my content that, pretty much talks about my offer, how it can exactly help you out, it bridges a gap, more people are going to buy, because a lot of my buyers have watched my long form YouTube videos. At least 70 to 80% of them have watched my YouTube videos before. So I'm going to push more people to watch them and double down my long form posting. So more CTAs to YouTube videos, more mini chats pushing people to my YouTube videos, and more creation of long form topics performing well in my short form. So if there's topics doing well in my short form, I'm going to make more long form out of them. Team communication. If you have setters, communicate with them to see either what prospects are missing, what they don't understand, getting the prospect to watch our pre-call videos beforehand better. Sometimes if they don't watch the videos we send over before they happen to call, maybe they haven't learned enough, maybe they aren't warm enough, so we just got to make sure they watch more of it, or just fixing our process entirely. Like communicating with your team is incredibly important. Number 4, identifying why our best clients bought. Like I said earlier, once again, simply ask them and take the time to reverse engineer why your best clients bought, or why even just your clients at the moment, even if you have one, just why did they buy? Why did they go with you, and double down on that process? Also, asking the right questions on the sales call. So I can tell in the first 5 minutes if someone on a call will 80 to 90% of the time close. Like I can pretty much tell if they will close or not, or if they will be a complete waste of time. And that's all done through the right questions. And if I don't believe this prospect can close, I will end the call and manually push them through my nurturing process. A lot of you guys get burnt out because you have no idea what you're looking for in your ICP, right? And then you end up burning the lead because you try to close them, you try to objection handle them, you get angry at them on the call or something like that, and you burn the lead. When it's better to literally just, hey, I'm like, this person, I know he's not going to buy. He hasn't watched enough of my stuff. He's coming to the call, asking me questions about what I even do. That's a problem. And when people come to calls, they need to be coming to buy and not for education. And so if you're experiencing that, you need to go push them to watch the right stuff and not waste your time on that call, because your time is precious. You guys want to make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month? You need to understand how precious your time is. You need to treat yourself like that individual. And a lot of you guys are treating yourself like a 9-to-5 worker still, not like a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month version of yourself. Creating my ICP with my content as well. This is really important to understand. So your ICP is something you create through the right mindset and belief shifting content, especially with fitness coaching. Everybody could use a fitness coach, right? Everybody could use one. A lot of you guys, oh, he's just not my ideal client. Oh, he wasn't a good fit. Everyone's a good fit. Fuck you mean, right? You got to be making the right content to get people to see why they should buy your stuff, why they should hire you as a fitness coach. That's how you create your ICP. And so objections or problems you run into at calls are completely your fault, and you can do things to fix them, right? So if there's certain objections, certain problems you're facing for why people aren't closing, you got to be making the right content, setting up the right systems so that these people can become your ICP before they ever get a call with you. But your time is valuable. Got to treat yourself like a 30K a month version of yourself if you want to get there. And this is exactly how I got back more of my time while making even more money earlier this year. Literally these two things. Never mind, these couple of things right here. You can see here's a couple screenshots from some of our trackers earlier this year. Over here you can see I have 50 calls booked this 1 month with $30,000 cash collected. I had 34 calls booked this month with $36,000 cash collected. Everyone here wants to make more money with spending less time and making more money, right? That's all we want to do, all right? But a lot of people are just not going about it intelligently enough. They have no idea what to do to even make that happen, and it's called scaling. Scaling is understanding what's working and what's not working, so you can do more of what's working and do less of what's not working. And you can only do that through tracking, through understanding exactly what is going on inside the business. If you're not tracking it, you can't measure it, and then you can't improve it. All right? So we have to actually go through all of the calls, all of the prospects, see who bought, see who didn't buy, why did they buy, why didn't they buy, and refine our process to literally save us like over 10 hours of time to make more money. And that's how we scale up to those $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 months later this year as well. And why isn't this moving now? Oh, hang on, boys. Okay. There we go. So everything we just went over has helped guys just like yourself achieve results like this. You know, this is all the same stuff that helped Ari cash collect over $130,000 with 44.5 being his best month. Andrew cash collect over $70,000 in total, 25K being his best month. Elfie from Europe over there around London, his cash collect over $60,000, 15K being his best month. We got a couple other guys. Yanil over in Puerto Rico, he launched his business like 3 months ago. He's made over $20,000, 10K being his best month. Joshua launched his business like 3 months ago. Cash collect over $20,000, 7.5 being his best month. We got George over in Europe, 6K. Drew, 10K over in Tampa. Luke Proof just came on like 3-4 weeks ago. He's gained over 50,000 followers in the past 30 days. And he's going to be printing soon. We just haven't released his offer yet. But this is all the same stuff that they have followed as well. Now at this point, though, everyone has 3 options here today. Let's go over them. Option number 1, take what you have just learned today and apply it on your own. However, what might happen is some of you guys may waste some time, may lose some money in terms of like the clients you could get. Could give up along the way. I don't think a lot of you guys would do that, but it could happen. And competition could just outpace you. That's option number 1. Option number 2 is join our free school and use my free 9-hour course as well. That's another big one as well. If you guys haven't joined the school up yet, make sure you go do it. I will send the link out here in a little, but we got the free school over here. It contains some of the stuff from my actual paid course over here, so definitely join it up. And we got the 9-hour free course, which is 9 hours taken out of my paid course, completely for free. That my entire paid course is probably like 30 or 40 hours. There's a lot inside of there, but this could be enough to get a lot of you guys started and at least make probably like $5K a month off it. There's option number 3 here for action takers, though. If you're somebody who's really serious, you can join us on this mission and work with me and my team one-on-one. This is a really good option for a lot of people. We'll actually go over exactly how much it costs here in a moment, just to be transparent and tell you guys like what it costs, so you can see if we can actually make it work out. But this is probably going to be the best option for a lot of people here who do have those resources and are very, very, very serious. So you'll get one-on-one calls with me. You'll be in the Brotherhood as well. We have a really good community over on WhatsApp and people who jump the calls, and it's like everybody inside really does support each other. If you go to any of my clients' profiles, you'll see like 10 or 15 of my other clients all supporting each other. It's great. We have 2 times a weekly group calls on Wednesdays and Sundays. You'll have instant business set up with the Notion dashboard, so you can literally get your coaching business set up in less than 24 hours. You have all the documents you need, everything you need to start training people. We'll offer 4 months of social media physique coaching. I will personally coach you one-on-one for 4 months, and the entire education course, once again, everything inside of there. If you're curious about what happens after you join, here's exactly what it will look like. So we take everybody through these 6 steps to success. The blueprint is number 1. That's where we'll just lay down the foundation for everything. Like, get your mindset right, get your lifestyle right. Because if you want to be doing 10, 20, 30 a month, a lot of people underestimate who you actually have to become to make that happen. Like, a lot of people underestimate that. A lot of people think it's like, how do I do it? No, brother, it's who do you have to become to make that happen? So we help you get things set up like a Google Calendar. We get you on the morning journaling. We get your routine set up. We specify exactly what you're doing on every single day. So is today a content day? Is today a sales call day? Is today a client success day? Like, what is today? What's the main focus of the day? I find that's the best way to go to help my clients scale. We'll have a personal branding and content strategy call. We'll literally lay out your top of funnel, your middle of funnel, your bottom of funnel content, the story flows you're going to be posting. You'll have a whole long Google document of your exact game plan, and I will personally talk to you about it, bring you through it. We'll do a video sales letter creation as well. So about 4 weeks into the program, once we start to get content market fit down, we're going to go ahead and make your video sales letter. I'll help you actually make it. We'll do either like a day in the life or a slideshow VSL, and we'll go ahead and rip that. Lead generation accelerator. Once again, that's when we go heavy on lead generation. We possibly even get a setter inside of our profile, but we start to give you customized like inbound strategies, outbound strategies, story flow strategies, DM scripts, the whole 9 yards to start getting as many leads as possible. Then we'll go on to fine-tune the sales process. As you start to get those calls booked in, you hop on calls, you get some closes, and you get some people who don't close. So that's when I start actually watching back your sales calls, and I make you a sales weapon. Sales weapon, that's the biggest thing. And then badass product development, I'll actually help you build out your coaching business to help you scale even more. Help you build the school, help you build the business, help you get better client transformations. Those are the steps to success inside of the program and what you're going to be brought through. You have your own personal client dashboard as well. So all my clients have their own personal dashboard, and this is where everything's tracked, all of your next steps. You can track your today's tasks. You have all the steps to success, all your high-level stuff. This is really, really, really good for a lot of people. Really helps them understand exactly what to do, and that's the same exact process dozens of our clients have followed to get results. As you've seen, we got like hundreds of them over on our Instagram, if you ever check that out. So really quick, do over offers here. In case you're actually curious about joining, I'll break it down for you, because we only want people who are serious, like action takers, to join on. If you got like a, yeah, we only work with high level people. So if you're an action taker, if you're somebody who's really serious about this, here's what you could do. We have a done for you offer. It's $2,500. What you get is 6-month access to the video course, the community, the group calls. You get 4 one-on-one calls with me. The 4 one-on-one calls are going to be a game plan call. That's where an hour long, I literally set up your game plan. I'm like, this is exactly what you're going to do over the next 6 months to achieve success. I put like typically around 2 hours into creating that game plan. That gets a lot of the heavy lifting done. We'll have a VSL call about a month in. We'll have a sales call, actually helping you get better at sales, and then a check-in call as well. That's just like a call for whatever we need to specifically talk about. And then there's all the group calls as well. And you'll get my personal phone number as well, so you can text me any questions you have. All of my clients have my personal phone number, so you have direct communication with me, and I answer you back pretty quick. So it's $2,500 paid in full. We can also help you finance it between $150 to $600 a month for most people 18 plus living inside the U.S. Just to let you know if you're curious about that. And we have in-house payment plans as well. It's $1,500 down, $1,500 30 days later, just to let you know. So there's a little interest on that. I'd recommend either paying it full or trying out the financing options. If you're 18 plus and you have a pretty decent credit score, we can definitely help you out. A lot of our guys get in for like $150 to $250 a month. So, feel free to go and apply. We're going to drop a type form here in a minute if you want to see you can make this happen. And then we got a done with you. This done with you, it's pretty intense. So it's $1,200. We work with you until you reach your goal. So what this means is we're going to set a goal based on where you're at. All right, we have to have a strategy call and come up with a goal. So the goals are typically 10, 20, or 30K a month. And I will work with you until you hit that goal. All right, so if you're at like 0 and you want to go to 10, we'll work until we hit 10. If you're at 10 and you want to go to 20, we'll work until we hit 20. If you're at 20 and want to go to 30, we'll work until we hit 30. So work with you until you reach your goal because we're all about results. It is $6K up front, and it's $6K when you actually reach your goal, just to let you know, because, you shouldn't have to pay the full investment until we help you reach your goal. We're very confident we can help you reach it, and it also incentivizes us to help you reach it as well. So, yeah, $6K up front, $6K when you reach your goal. We can also help you finance this program between $250 to $1,000 a month for most people 18 plus living inside of the U.S. And if you need in-house payment plans, you can't finance it, credit sucks or something like that, we can personalize it if needed as well. The biggest thing is which one sounds best for you, and are you serious? Do you want to make this happen, right? And we can typically make anything work out. What you can sign of this, though, is lifetime access to the video course community and group calls. You're in there forever. One-on-one calls. These are mandatory one-on-one calls every 7 to 14 days. This is how we keep accountability high, and this is also how we progress fast, is we're on a lot more one-on-one calls. Personal phone number, YouTube as well. YouTube is something I heavily do on this offer as well. I will help you ideate, script out, and direct your YouTube growth. I can connect you with my editors, my thumbnail team, and all that. Because once again, YouTube is really important when it comes to this content funnel, so I focus heavily on building out your YouTube. Sales team infrastructure, we will hire, train, and help you manage your DM setters as well. DM setters, if you don't know, those are people inside of your profile who are outbounding people, inbounding people, just pretty much getting people on calls with you and making you more money. It's what you need to scale past 10K a month. And then custom implementation, anything we may need to reach your goal, I will help you out with. I do a lot of custom implementation for my guys on the Done With You offer because that's what it really takes to scale to those levels is you do need a lot of help. There will be a price increase January 1st, by the way. The Done For You will be $4,000. That's a $1,500 increase. And the Done With You will be $1,500. That's a $3,000 increase. And so if you want to do this, if you want to work one-on-one, if you're serious about it, we're going to drop a type form in the chat right now. I'll have my team member drop it, and you can go ahead and apply. I'd recommend if you plan on doing it, just getting in there now, because when January 1st comes, like I said, it's a great time to be in the right spot to make money. We're going to be working on a challenge funnel for everybody. So you'll have a direct SOP, like a standard operating procedure, pretty much a blueprint to run what's called a challenge funnel starting January 1st. And these things rip. They rip for the New Year's resolutioners. So a lot of people can make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in probably January, February by running this. So definitely get in there for the discount right now. And enrollment is open. So if you're interested in hopping on a strategy call together, see if we're a good fit, and hear more about how we can help you out, like I said, I'll have my team member drop the type form in the chat. Go ahead and fill it out if you're an action taker, and we'll help you scale up. Because a lot of you guys, I truly believe, you're only 3 or 6 months away from a completely different life, but are you willing to bet on yourself is the biggest question. I know I just went over it, and it maybe sounds like a lot of money, but once again, it's like, how much is it costing you to not know how to make that amount of money? How much is it costing you to not be making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month? Because over a year, it's $120,000. What is that? 3, 6, I don't even know, 360,000 or something like that. Like, it's a lot of money. And we work with you until you hit that. So, yeah, we're going to drop that in the chat. Let me make sure. What if you don't have an interesting or at least a shocking story? And what would top of funnel look like? Well, let me answer the first one, Jack Wees. So, here's the thing. I hear this all the time. It's like, Ryan, my story isn't interesting or as shocking as yours. It's like, guys, I've just learned how to tell my story good. Like, I've spent time working on it. And that's something we do as well, is we spend time working on your story, and we spend time making it sound fucking dope. So I always tell people this. It's like, once again, success is when preparation meets opportunity. Let's say you get in the elevator with somebody. If you can't shock and awe them, if you can't get them to remember your name in 60 seconds, guess what? You're going to end up being a failure. And most of you guys just aren't preparing for when that opportunity comes, so you need to prepare. So what I did is I spent a lot of time just thinking about my story, thinking about how can I tell it in a sexy way? How can I tell it in a shocking way that's going to get people to go, damn, I remember him now. And so all you got to do is just take time with it. You got to actually like put some time and energy into crafting your story. You can't just instantly say, oh, I don't have a shocking and whatever story. It's like, cool. Most people don't. Spend some time making it sound good. And what would top of funnel content look like when you're at 0 followers with a mid physique? What would the bio look like if you don't have a coaching diploma or never went on stage? Is it feasible, or should you get some hands-on experience first? Well, that one, first off, like I said, self-improvement is number one. You just need to go do something with yourself. If you're out of shape, like, here's the thing. You don't exactly have to be in shape to provide value, but you need something of value. That's the biggest thing. You can coach in anything, but you need something of value to provide, right? And so you got to pinpoint something that you're going to go pursue to become valuable with. And so if you're at the point right now, Jacquees, where you have nothing of value to you, you've done nothing hard, and you've gained no success, well, that's the first thing you got to go achieve. I've pushed so many of my clients to like go do shows, go do something great, and it's helped them out so much. I recently had Adam. I pushed him to go do a show, and now things are going well. He's starting to get clients, starting to get more views because he went and did something big. So I'd say if you're in that spot, like come join the coaching team. Let me get you in shape. Let me put you on stage. Let's make a transformation first while still posting online, and then let's launch the coaching business. It's like Catherine locking a type form. Hell yeah. Love to see it, Catherine. Where's the other questions? Thank you for your answer. Yeah. Is TikTok still viable for growth? Algorithm seems to be a bit weird lately. Yeah, I mean, TikTok, man, just post your videos on there. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I wouldn't focus on it too much either. I would just still post your content on there. But, like, TikTok's not going to get you paid. And most it's going to do is maybe get some extra views. But I don't even worry about it. Because I've never had somebody buy from TikTok. I've never had one of my clients get somebody from TikTok either. I just post on there just to post on there. It's really the lowest level people over on TikTok though. The text over B-roll vids have been ripping for me, consistently getting 10 to 30,000 views on them and getting new followers finally. Started posting them 3 times a day. Now, should I continue to lean into them and push for new followers even though they don't give much connection? Then just nurture them through stories. Let's see, Finn. That's a good question, Finn. So, Finn, something important to understand about the algorithm is like, if people watch your content, the algorithm is more likely to push your other content. And so what you should still do is still upload those pieces of content, but then make better middle of funnel content, because those people who haven't followed you yet are more likely to see the other content from you and finally drop you a follow. It really does typically take around 5 to 10 videos for people to finally like drop you a follow sometimes. So a lot of those top of funnel pieces of content, like the text over B-roll, are just to get people to see you for the first time and engage with you. And when they see you and engage with you, they're more likely to see your other content, right? And so those top of funnel, they're not really all about just getting followers. They're just about getting people to see you for the first time and to engage with you. Because once again, then the algo is more likely to push other stuff, right? And so once again, if people aren't following from that, then you need to focus on middle of funnel content, more of that, like still post that, but then increase your diversity of content. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, just posting casual with the views, all leads of an IG. Yeah, just keep doing that, Jack. I struggle in the cold outreach and find my competitors, and I don't know what I should specifically do in order to convert them into a free call or a sales call. So what kind of feedback can you give me in order to solve this? What do you exactly mean? So I struggle in the cold outreach. Cold outreach is not something you should do. Are you talking about warm outreach or cold outreach? Because those are completely different. Cold outreach is reaching out to people who don't know you. Warm outreach is reaching out to people who do know you, like followers. Which one are you doing specifically, Multaha? Dante, Jack, Catherine, let's fucking get it. Guys, once again, if you're an action taker, if you're serious about this, go ahead and fill that type form really quick. Cold outreach. Yeah, don't be doing cold outreach. What are you, dumb? I'm sorry. Never do cold outreach. Never do cold outreach. Never do cold outreach. Dante, what do you think most beginner coaches waste time on, and what should I focus on mainly? Yeah, I think you're talking about beginner coaches in terms of like starting up your social media. I would assume that. So let's say you like a small social media following. I'm gonna check you out here in a moment. I know you just applied. You gotta look at the steps to success. So it's like this: gain an audience, nurture the audience, convert the audience. Like it's as simple as that. And so a lot of people, what they do is they kind of skip past gaining an audience, and they're just like making all the stuff to nurture and convert their audience, but they don't have a big enough audience yet. And so what you got to do is accomplish step number 1, which is like gain the influence, right? Get 10,000 followers, right? Gain the influence, and then introduce more middle and bottom of funnel content, all right? Start to get people to know about you more. You just got to gain the influence first and do the right things to convert that influence and liquidate it into getting paid. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for, because I can connect the dots backwards. I know a lot of you guys are probably confused on like what to do moving forward, but I've been there. I've been doing this shit for 5 years. It's like first you just got to gain the influence, and then do the right things to liquidate the influence. And what a lot of people do is they focus on liquidating the influence before they even have it. Is it going to be uploaded on YouTube? Yes. Yeah, we will upload it on YouTube. But yeah, drop your questions over here. Anything else you have? We'll drop the type form one more time. Once again, if you're serious about this, if you're interested in partnering together, getting some help to scale up to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 months in 2026, go ahead and fill that type form. We'll hop on a call, find the best program for you, and make it work out. I did cold outreach to warm them up for the call. Yeah, Mota, just stop doing cold outreach. You don't reach out to people who don't know you. It's the biggest no-no. It's the biggest waste of time, I should say. Biggest waste of time. All right, we'll keep it up for about 5 more minutes. Then I head out. So any last questions? This is the last call for them. If you're under 1K, what are your thoughts about posting 5 to 7 times a day? Under 1K followers. Well, so here's the biggest thing is like, it depends, because there's this study done where if you put like 30% more effort into your content or into anything, you're gonna get like 125% the outcome or something like that. Like you get exponential outcome with if you put in more effort. And so it's like I think 5 to 7 times a day used to work really well back in the day, but what I heavily believe in more now is quality content and more intention put into it. And so it's like, if you have been uploading a good amount and your followers haven't been growing, it's because your quality hasn't increased. So look at it this way. If you increase your quantity, but you don't see an increase in the metric you want to see, then you got to increase your quality to see an increase in the metric. It's always either one or the other, quantity or quality when it comes to content. Those are the 2 levers you can pull. If you pull one and you don't get the outcome, you got to pull the other. If that makes sense. Following up, assuming it's quality content, not like shit posting. Well, I would assume if it's quality content, you would probably be gaining more followers. Now, let's say you just started posting. Possibly, yeah. But like my client Luke recently, he's been uploading like kind of once a day, almost like every other day. Dude, he gained 50,000 followers in like 3-4 weeks. And he gained those off 5 or 6 posts at most. It was like 5 or 6 posts he gained 50,000 followers off of. It's because he put a lot more effort into each post. What do you do about difficult clients? Like in giving them the tools, but they just don't stay disciplined. So we do have something called Transformation Accelerator, Jack, which is it's going to provide some things on accountability, on leadership and stuff like that to help them out. There's a couple things to go into it. First off, are you charging them enough? If you aren't charging them enough, then they're not going to like make the transformation. Like how much you charge them is really for them and not for you. It's going to get them more emotionally invested. And a couple things come down to the coaching. right? Maybe you got to text them every single day. Maybe you got to increase accountability. Or maybe you just got to ask the right questions, you know? I'd say it's more of an in-depth thing we should personally talk about. Transformation Accelerator will help that out a lot. But it really is a simple fix. It's just more of a complex question to answer. So what's going on, boys? How's everyone's week?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah? You picking up the content?
Yeah, I'm trying to. It's a lot more effort, a lot more.
It's
energy
funny because
than-
that's what we're going to talk about today. But, I mean, what are you doing differently?
I'm just kind of like trying to like inject more education, I guess. And then I uploaded a couple by mistake, and then like realized that it needed more. So I was like, oh, I'll take it down and add more to it. So it's just a lot more energy and thought into the content itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a big part of it. But you're getting a better return, right?
Yeah, I since I've been doing that, I've gotten more followers too, so that's good. Like 8 more, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I want to talk about actually was just putting more into content to get more out. Because I'm going to showcase a couple things here today that will just like literally prove the point of just if you put like a good amount of more effort in, you'll get way more out. Way more. Not all the time. Sometimes you post that dumb shit and it goes far, and then sometimes you're like, well, I put so much into this and didn't do anything, you know. But yeah, we're gonna solve that. What else is going on? Anybody got any wins? Anybody got any struggles?
Yo, yeah, I've had a pretty good week. I can't lie.
What's going on with you?
I had a video pop off a little bit. I don't know if you saw it.
Let's see. Let's see.
I'm ripping some followers off of it as well.
Pop off. Oh, 34K.
Yeah.
Nice, man. What'd you do differently?
I usually been doing these videos for a while, but I just kind of tweaked a few things. I made the text a little smaller. Added a different clip. Like that was a new clip.
Right.
The caption was a little shorter too. It wasn't too lengthy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Good. Not bad. Not bad. Repeat successful actions. Anybody else? Got anything good they want to share? Any struggles?
Got a
I just want to hit 34K on one video. Goddamn.
Well, hopefully we can
I've
solve
been
that.
doing this shit for a year and I haven't sniffed that fucking number, dude.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about getting the views up, getting the engagement up.
I mean,
Today.
my shit's good. It's just I just haven't hit 34 fucking K, like at all. I hit 10.8 on like one of my last reels though. So
Mm-hmm. But check that out, Adam. Yeah, we're gonna keep today mostly a content call because content's what everyone's got to focus on.
Yeah, I'm struggling to even hit like 1,000 views.
Gotcha. So let's get right into it though with content creation. So someone's got to mute themselves so I can hear a little background noise.
that might be me, my fault.
All right, you bro. So the more effort you put into content, and I do have to break down like effort, the more of a return you'll always get. At the end of the day, like the better your content will do. When you're innovating, when you're doing new things, and when you're putting more effort into your content, you will typically always get rewarded more. You're gonna have those flops, but don't allow that to be like, oh no, I'm just not gonna put effort in. You know, it's like the more effort you put in, the better you're gonna get out. For example, like coming over to my YouTube, this video that's taken me weeks to put together. In addition to how much time it took me to put together. Ooh, Ari's here. It's good to see him around. Sup, Mr. Ari? What's up? We're talking about content, G. Yeah, what's good? So yeah, it's like the more effort you put in the content, the more you always get out. As I was describing, like this 9-hour course, not only did it take me 9 hours to film it, but it took me a lot of hours to put together, and it took me $600 to make the intro or something like that. All right, it's got 2.1K views, and that's 4 days into it. And this video will probably end up getting like 10,000 views, and it will probably end up making me, I'm hoping, like 6 figures off one video. And I think a lot of us are just playing the game small. which like you do a little bit of that. Like I just reposted this video. This is a small video. You know, it's like, yeah, you're going to get out your daily output, your daily mandatories, but I also want you guys to be thinking bigger. You know, what are some big plays you can make? Right? What are some big pieces of content that you can get out there and just put more time into that are going to be like evergreen, right? They're going to be really good hitters. Because like this video right here, it took me probably a good 30, 45 minutes to make. I recreated it a couple times or refined it and shit like that. It took me a good while to make. But like, dude, this thing's generated fucking 1,500 leads. 1,500 leads for one video. How much would you guys like to have that? How much would you guys like to have 1,500 leads for one video? Raise your fucking hand. Who would like to have 1,500 leads with one fucking video? Right? Right? And so it's like, if you just put in a little bit more effort, a little bit more psychology into it as well, you'll get a better return. Who else is joining up? Christopher. Even come over to this one. Like this one may have taken up to an hour to make. Like it looks like I make them really quick, but I am walking around for like 10 minutes between each clip, just thinking about what to say. You know, I'm running it through my head multiple times. I'm re-recording it sometimes. Like I'm putting a lot more work into it. Even this one took 7 minutes to film. Like it did all right. But the whole thing here is like, if you put in more effort for the viewer, you will get a better outcome. And it's not putting in more effort for you. It's putting in more effort for the viewer. So that's why I want to talk about like the term of effort. Effort, when I'm describing this for content, it's making it so much easier for the viewer to achieve something. If that makes sense, to help them out. That's why this did well. That's why it's crushing so well, because I put so much effort for the viewer, right? So I did this well. I put so much effort in for the viewer. I made the 9-hour free course and attached it to it. So if somebody comes across this video, they're like, holy shit, this video is so valuable. It gets me a 9-hour free course. You know, that's so valuable. This one's just a little bit more controversial, but it still gets them something valuable, like handsome. So all these videos doing insanely well is put a lot of effort into them. And then I want to show you guys Luke over here. Luke recently joined. He hasn't really made money. Oh, not him. Money yet, because he's just been blowing up. We're gonna launch his offer. This guy, he joined like less than a month ago. He had 1,200 followers. So he got 53,000 now. And some people in here right now might envy that, be like, oh, I can't do that. You can 100% do it. If you set your mind to it, you can do it. I'm going to break down what's been going on here. So, I mean, this isn't the best example of fucking dream follower content or ICP content, but it's a good case study of like, if you put more effort into something, if you're more creative and you put effort in for the viewer, because this is entertainment content in a way. He's going to sell like a low ticket school teaching people how to get good at anything he does. You will get a better reward. So gain 50,000 followers within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 posts. I think he joined on like right here. 6 posts. Who would like to gain 50,000 followers in 6 posts? It'd be pretty fucking awesome, right? And so like these videos took like all day to film. Day 7 proving you good at anything. This, I guess, took like 8 or 9 hours to get good at piano. I'm not saying you'll fucking get good at piano for 8 to 9 hours, but I am just showcasing the fact that if you put more ideation and you put more time into a video for the viewer's benefit, in this case, it's entertainment. In my case, it's to provide them more education, whatever it may be, you will always get a better outcome. You will always get a better outcome. And I want you to understand that. So we gotta stop like checking off boxes all the time. Like you're gonna do that either way. You gotta check off your daily mandatories, but then also plan out like some big moves, some heavy hitter pieces of content where you're gonna invest a lot of energy into something. Because if you invest a lot of energy into something, you're more likely to get a bigger return out of it. I think there's even a study. I can't remember where it is, but like if you put 30% more effort into something, you get a massive return. A massive return. Is this resonate with anybody? Because I'm sure there's people out there like, I put more effort into this one piece and it did way better, or just more ideation into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently, I mean, I was struggling with posting in general, but I've recently picked up on it, just getting my reels out there. And like yesterday, I had a day where I just posted like 7 or 8 reels, and just like the ideas are coming a lot faster. I'm just taking the action a lot quicker. When I get the idea, I just go to make the reel right away. And then I'm taking my time to think of what's the best caption, what's gonna grab somebody's attention, the time of the video, what's doing good, stuff like that.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I mean, there's always stages. I think the best stage for you, Anthony, is just like put more quantity out there because like you're just getting started. But if you guys have uploaded 100 times, it's like you kind of know how to make content. Now it's time to really maximize the quality you put into it, the effort you put into it. So it's like even my best talking head YouTube videos back in the day, bro, I would spend 30 to 40 minutes in the morning just like obsessing over the idea and like writing down the best touch points and getting my mind so ready to just film for like 40 minutes straight. It was just putting in more psychology behind what I was going to talk about, and it will always do better. Anybody else have you guys ever seen like, okay, I put more in here and I got a better result?
Yeah, I had a similar experience when I was doing that roommate series.
Mm-hmm.
I've only made 2 videos of it so far, but yeah, they take a lot more time to make 'cause it's a lot of clips. It's a lot of like perfection in everything. And but I've gotten a few followers from it, and they like generally perform better. The last
Right.
one flopped a bit, but
That's
that
good.
happens. But yeah.
That's good. So let me pull up this Miro board because this will help you guys understand kind of what I mean by putting in more effort. Just got to pull up, what are they called? Content pillars. Because like every single piece of content you upload should fit within like it should majorly fit within one pillar. It's going to fit into a couple some of the times. All right. So it's like this. When you go to make a piece of content, so typically you have an idea, right? When you have the idea, you should categorize it under something, right? Is it connection? Is it education value? Is it results? Is it mindset, which is like coaching content? Is it being the character? And whatever it may be, categorize it there and ask yourself, like, how can I put more effort into this and make it better for the viewer? Right? Make it easier for the viewer to watch it, consume it, get more entertained, achieve a result with it, whatever it may be. So like if I'm going to make a connection piece of content, I'm going to put more effort into it by simply getting myself like in the right emotional state, possibly before it. Like that's effort. Like actually sitting there for 20 minutes to like get myself a little emotional to tell my story, that would be putting effort in. If it's coaching content where I'm going to try to shift somebody's thoughts and beliefs, well, I'm going to sit there for 20, 30 minutes with my journal and think about like, okay, what do I really need to say here? What's the best way to shift somebody's mindset, to shift their belief systems here? What do I need to cover before I make this piece of content? Right, back in the example of the talking head video days in the car on YouTube, like my best ones, man, my best ones. I put a lot of time into really thinking about that person that I was going to talk to before I went ahead and made that video. Lifestyle being the character. When I put more effort into getting good clips, looking lean, shit like that, like those rip. When I put more effort into case studies, for example, credibility, right? Come over here. I literally can break this down. So it's like, I investigated how this was like our recent case study. It got 1,000 views, did really well. And then there was another one that I did that was like complete fucking shit, dude. Because I made it within like 30, 40 minutes, exposing how these guys in their 20s made $70,000 in 30 days. It got 444 views. I made that shit within like less than an hour because I was rushed to make it. And it got half the result, less than half the result. In addition to, I know not a single person bought from it. Right? So it still got views, but matter of fact, it probably even turned people away from me. So it's by putting in that little bit more effort, got a way better result. Education value, right? If you're gonna make a how-to, you're gonna make something like how can you put more effort into it to make it better for the viewer's experience? It's the whole idea behind it. If you guys have posted over 100 times, it's all about putting more effort into all those pieces of content while trying to stay up with your content schedule, of course. Right? There's always 2 levers to pull in content. There's quantity and there's quality. If you're pulling your quantity lever a good amount, right? You're getting maybe 2 posts, 3 posts out a day. Well, now it's time to start pulling the quality lever just a little. Pull that bitch a little, make it better. Does that make sense? Good. Let's open the discussion. How do we struggle with making our content better? Where's the objections here? Ant's getting another fucking tattoo. Holy shit. But
It's like get distracted a lot. It's like when my family's here, like when my wife is here, it's like distraction after distraction. It's like I can't sit down and just fucking work. But I know what I need to do, and that's get up extremely early just so I can get that fucking time alone. But then
Yeah.
I let my own limiting beliefs like kind of hinder me a little bit. Like I'm like, how should I spend this time? Should I be working? Should I be working out? You know, like it's so hard to like balance everything all
Yeah.
on top of whatever you got going on as well.
Yeah. There's no correct action besides the action you think is correct. And
Mhm.
so it's like pick whatever one you think is best and truly believe in it. You know? And so if I was you, I'd personally wake up early in order to maybe like film long form content video, and then clip it up or something like that.
I'm actually gonna do that tomorrow because she's gonna go to work, so I'm gonna be able to get up extra early and do all that stuff.
Yeah, because like I always like to go back to what worked for me, and what worked for me was like waking up extra early, before distractions, before anything else, before work, film those long form videos, get into flow states, get better at talking, get better at communicating, and be able to get those clips to chop up and upload online. I think it'd be good for you.
Makes sense.
Make it happen though.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do to organize your mind in a way that's empowering?
Not sure. I think
Oh, not sure.
go into the day with like preparation. So like already I have it in my mind like, oh, I want to make this video. I'm gonna go ahead and make this Miro board. I'm gonna go ahead and record this part and this part. That's what my morning's gonna be dedicated to. Obviously, it gets a little difficult for me because I like to trade as well. So I'm splitting myself in half. So I'm working on this, but then I got to go and trade as well. So it's like I can't lose my focus. So after I trade, that's it. I go back to doing business.
Could you maybe split it up on days? Do you have to trade every day, or could you do it 3-4 times a week?
I don't have to trade every day, but it's good to watch the market every day.
Right. Yeah, kind of split between the two. It's always best to just like choose one thing, go all in on it.
Yeah.
So like definitely give that a think. You always progress faster the more you invest yourself into something. Ken Talk is in the car. One thing One thing I really struggle with is overthinking the content. I could put more effort in, but I find that I get lost in the sauce along the way and end up not making the content because I don't think it's a good idea, or got so into the details I forget what I was even thinking. Or if I think so much about what I want to say, then I come off as robotic in my delivery. Woo. How do you balance high effort content with staying on track and not overthinking? That one's gonna give me a think. That one's gonna give me a little overthinking there.
I kind of feel that though. I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel that, Luke, because I'm kind of the same way. I'll just be overthinking shit, and then I'm just like, wait, I need to make this kind of content and this kind of content, and I'm just like, dude, and then I just stress myself out, and then I like forget what the fuck I'm even thinking about. So that kind of fucks me.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Then here's the thing. So I just kind of realized that I think I have better confidence in what to upload because I know my ICP. I can look at you guys and I understand what you want to hear more of. But Adam, you and like Luke, I understand you don't have many clients, right? You guys have like a couple of like lower pay ones, even some free ones. And so it's a little harder to understand what content to make because you don't exactly know your ICP, but what you can know is your dream follower. Right?
See, but I think I know though. Like I already know because we've talked about it. I've been with you for fucking 6 months. Like I know the fucking content to make. Like I know I need to make more gear content because that shit was fucking working. I just haven't made any. So I know I need to do that. I know I probably need to make more like masculine, like edge kind of content because like my offer's there. Help men build confidence, regain their masculine edge again, and with an emphasis on doing hormones if you want to do hormones. Like I have that shit. I think it's just sometimes I just overthink. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sometimes I'm just overthinking what to fucking actually do. But then I also do that with my life. Like sometimes I don't know how to separate everything and compartmentalize. And then before I know, like my whole life's a fucking clusterfuck. And I'm like, wait, I was supposed to do this, this, and this. So I mean but that's ADHD brain. So, but I mean it's getting better, but you know.
Well, you guys may benefit from a little Adderall or something then.
Yeah, no, I mean I've been saying I need to get a fucking script for years now, but you know what's been helping me though? The methylene blue and
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, that shit fucking works, dude.
Yeah.
And the NAD plus, like I definitely feel more dialed. The last couple days, I'm like, okay, actually, I need to do this, this, and this. So
Yeah, I think there's a bit of just like actually what's going on in your brain. You know, the best you can do is just like rigorous self-improvement things. You
Yeah.
know, stop overthinking. To a certain extent, then there's the side of medication as well, which is actually beneficial in my personal opinion to a certain extent. If you truly need it on certain days, something like a little Adderall can help you out.
Yeah.
But kind of going back to also talking about like ICP for dream follower, kind of there is just like talk about the things that you would personally want to watch. You know, so I think if you're overcomplicating, like, because what I'm kind of getting, if I was placing myself in your shoes, I would be overthinking, is this the right action to take? And I kind of right looking at him, you know, like you're like, oh, I could do this, but you're like, is this going to be the right action to take? Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing here is like, you don't know, so just do it. You know, you got to put the effort in either way. And at the end of the day, I mean, like, what would be the negative? You know, what would be the downside of putting your time into something that's still in the realms of what you want to make content out of, but maybe isn't perfect? Is there really downside to it?
No, it gets you better because I mean
I-
that's literally how I've gotten better at content is just putting fucking shit out there.
I think it helps you identify what you want to post more about and what actually makes you money a lot quicker. Because, like, let me even come over here. I don't know how far you guys are scrolling down my YouTube, but like, I used to spend hours putting content together that got me nowheres. I'm talking, I did all these fucking edits on these long form YouTube videos, nowheres, and I wasn't sure what I was making at the time. I gotta come way back. I was just making content just to fucking make content. Like this 44, you know how long this fucking took to make this shit? Like days, bro. Days. I had no clue what I was doing. I was just executing ideas that came to my mind. Like at social media for an entire year, like I edited all this fucking shit, all these B-rolls and blah blah blah. Right. And that's like just the one truth behind it is you just got to do a lot sometimes, quite honestly. And there really is no wrong thing to do when it comes to this. I will say that. But let me come back to this. Lost in the sauce in the way, not into making good. Well, then I would also ask myself, like, where is my actual capabilities at? And do I need to progress my capabilities larger? You know, it's like in the gym, if you can't do 30 total sets in volume, the only way to get to 30 total sets of volume is just to do more. You know, so if you feel like you're being overloaded on content or you're overthinking it, or like the only way to get better is just to do more and do more of it. It's the only way to build that muscle. Right. So it's kind of like the ugly truth. So lost in the sauce. Luke, let me know if I'm kind of getting to the bottom of things here or not. I think it's a good idea. Yeah, I'd love to know more specifically about what's going on inside that brain, though. Lost the sauce in the way. Yeah, I'm following what you're saying. How do you balance high effort content with staying on track and not overthinking?
I think what's helped me is like try, you know, how I was saying to sit down and think of long form content. For me, I don't know ideas at this point, but go and try and make a long form piece of content of how you would help somebody, right? So like I have an idea of how to get shredded, right? I'm gonna make a long form video on that. And then once I'm done with that video, I can kind of take pieces of that video and make short form content with it. Just little snippets from that long form. I think that helping me too.
I think kind of what's going on here for a lot of you guys is you're second guessing, should I put this much effort into this piece of content because will I be rewarded for it or will it be a complete waste of time? I think that's the biggest thing. Anybody feel that? Luke, you feel that? Is that what you're overthinking about? Yeah. I get it. But in my opinion, it's like the only way to get to the gold is to dig through a lot of dirt. It's crazy. It just sounds like the only way to get there is to dig through a lot of dirt. So it's like the 10,000 hour rule. It's gonna take a certain amount of time to get good at something. And so, like, I truly don't believe there's any exactly correct action to take when it comes to the broad sense of content. I really do think it comes down to paying down like ignorance debt and paying down a certain amount of just debt you have to pay down in order to get good, in order to get somewhere. You know, I think you do have to get the hours in and get good at something. And so I would say it'd be a little bit of a mindset shift. You know, to say to yourself, like, hey, I'm gonna have to do a certain amount of hours of this thing to get good at it. Regardless of what thing I exactly do, it's still in the realm of content creation, right? So I may as well put my best foot forward in whatever direction I decide to head, and I'm gonna get to my destination faster than if I was to be overthinking it all the time. My personal opinion. Yeah, it's really the only way to get good at things. That makes sense. Switching from posting for reward to posting to improvement. Yeah, because you got to treat everything you do like self-improvement, right? If you're to improve yourself, I don't know if you guys have experienced the self-improvement journey, but you've probably tried a lot of things that you eventually dropped. You know, you probably tried a lot of different things, especially when it came to business models. I'm sure a lot of you here have tried maybe different business models as well. And you're like, oh, that doesn't work, right? Self-improvement is just trying to discover what you like and what you're good at and stuff like that. It's the same with business self-improvement. It's the same with social media self-improvement. Like, you got to try a lot of the bullshit. You know, you got to do a lot of the bullshit to get to the gold. And it's definitely a mindset shift of you're posting to improve your ability to make good content and communicate good messages. And you're also like, I think content's one of the biggest therapies. It really does help you discover yourself and get good at something. Because like for me, sometimes I set my content creation goals in terms of my self-improvement goals. I'm like, I want to go make content like this. So it's like, who do I have to become? What do I have to do in order to make that happen? Yeah. Yeah. And you can't really post for reward either. You know, it's really hard to define exactly what piece of content is going to get you reward. You know, over time, you'll really be able to tell what content you post is going to get you somewheres. But you still just got to continue posting to try more and try different things, you know? So it's like never hope for completion in life. And it's kind of like mastering the art of detachment, being able to detach from anything that may be holding you back, because it's always like attachment to certain things that will hold you back. Attachment to negative beliefs, attachment to negative self-images, attachment to, I'm trying to pull up this document because I talked about it earlier. Let's see. Attachment to negative beliefs, faulty thinking patterns, or etc. Right? So if there's like a faulty thinking pattern that you have that is just causing you to procrastinate, take less action, you just got to detach from it, is the best way to put it. But what I do really want to see is just higher quality and more effort put into, you know, the content everyone here is making. Right? Because like your value as a coach is determined by the value of your personal brand. And personal brand isn't exactly how big you are. It's really also about interest levels. How much interest does it actually cultivate? And so it's like, hey, you may go make a really niche video, like how to use BP, how to use fucking GHK-CU to grow your hair back and get handsome and to get in shape. You know, it can be a really niche video. But because you put so much attention to detail inside that video and made it really good for the viewer's experience, the fucking 500 people who watched it, maybe you get 50 leads from it. If that makes sense. Yeah, it's a couple things I described in this masterclass I hosted earlier. I kind of go through it. So if you want to make six figures on a fitness coach, you need a six-figure brand. And a brand's value is not determined by how massive it is. It's determined by how much interest is cultivated through its content. All right. And interest can only be cultivated if you actually put a lot of attention to detail in that piece of content. You make it actually interesting. It's the best way to put it. And so you just got to put more effort into it all. Any questions about that though? That solve your problems? Looking at them, maybe a little bit, a lot, fully.
Yeah, I mean, I think I I've been putting in more effort with my videos, but I think I could do more. You know, I can call myself out and be like, okay, I can do a little bit more. But I mean, if you go through like my last couple videos, I feel like there, you know, effort is being put in, but you know, I'm always gonna say I can probably do more. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow always, you know, to be like, this current version of myself isn't getting the outcome. And sometimes we like to blame it on something else when we just have to get better. You know, that's something I've had to accept a lot along this journey. It's just like I'm just not good enough. I just gotta get better. I gotta try different things. And that's when the biggest breakthroughs happen. They especially happen right when you're getting frustrated. You know, but like think big terms like so once again, when I say putting more effort, it's putting more effort for the viewer. So Adam, I'm
no, yeah,
looking at you,
100%,
like,
100%.
if you're trying to help people like with peptides and fat loss and masculinity, it's like how do you provide the best customer service in a way through your content? How do you provide the best viewer experience and the best information out there? How do you make it so easy, so tangible, shit like that, right? So then it'd be like, okay, well, I'm going to create some full guides on my YouTube. I'm going to ManyChat them through Reels, just like I post. I'm going to break that down in a minute. And you're just going to provide the ultimate education spot for these things. Because, like, let's say this. If you became the ultimate education spot for, let's say, peptides, then, you know, according to universal laws and social media laws, like, you're going to become the most well-known guy for it. You know, like, if you're the best at what you do, you will get paid more. It's the way it always works. So it's always about like how do you get the best? How do you become the best at what you do? I want you guys to become the best at what you do. Identify what you want to do and become the best at it. If you get a video that blows up but doesn't convert to a follow, what typically needs to be tweaked? The format of the video. It's the format all day. So it's like if it's an edit, if you're not talking in the video, typically it can blow up and not get followers. If you are talking in the video, typically it can blow up and get followers. Like it's as simple as that. So he gained like 50,000 followers because all these videos were pretty much talking heads. And so people really liked him, so they dropped him a follow. Even coming to this one, like this one got what, 500 followers almost. So let's see, 490 followers for, let's see, 5,000 likes. I want to see if I have like a comparable thing that maybe is like an edit. Okay, so 6,000 likes. This one got 117 followers. So the talking head video got 1,000 less likes and 300 or almost 400 more followers. All right. So it's just the format of the video, Jonathan. Anything else? Make sense?
Do you think cursing plays a part? Because I've always just wondered, I'm like, maybe people just don't fuck with me because I be cursing a lot. But that's just me. But I just try to be authentically me. At this point, that's what I feel like I'm real as fuck in my videos. I don't give a fuck. I just talk.
Mm-hmm.
I've never noticed. I've just wondered. I'm like, does that ever maybe play an effect? You know, because I am an interesting guy. You know, you gotta learn to know me to like kind of fuck with me. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I've always just wondered that.
No, I've never experienced cursing do anything bad unless it's on like YouTube.
Okay.
Also, Adam, be careful about talking about peptides on TikTok. They're about to ban my account.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, they took down like 2 videos talking about Retta.
I'm honestly, dude. I post on TikTok after I post on Instagram because like I can't crack that fucking algorithm for shit, dude. I don't get it. I'm like I'll do a video. So that video I did. So that did 10.8K views. I got like a decent amount of followers off of it. Put it on TikTok. It didn't do shit. It did like 700 views. I'm like, dude, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really put much effort on my TikTok at all, to be quite honest with you, dude. Like I'm reposting shit that I put on Instagram there.
Yeah. Yeah, but as I was saying here, it's like, how do you go a step further with education too? You know,
Yeah, I already know what I need to do. Honestly, I do.
to it.
Because I need the research. Because like I like do enough research to like know how to not fuck myself up.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then I'm like, I'm not. There's just like I look at Mo's videos. That's because you know me and him do like kind of the same kind of stuff. So I've been like watching his stuff, and I'm just like, okay, he's very edgy. I just need to get more educated, and then
Mhm.
figure out a way to break it down. Because like I'm educated on the stuff I've done, and we've seen it on my other gear videos. With like when I talk about Anavar and I'm talking about Reddit, like they do really well. I give followers. So it's just certain stuff I think I just need to like educate myself on more and like actually
Yeah.
do sit down and do research and then just be like, okay, this is what I'm gonna talk about in the video. This is how I'm gonna break it down.
So if you guys ever feel like you need more depth on a topic or more education to provide, if you ever feel like you can't break out of a content plateau because you simply don't have more to talk about, you got to spend more of your time educating yourself. Like you're doing that. I'm just saying this for more people. So it's like something I do a lot is I go into these phases where I do heavy education myself. I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm watching a lot more YouTube videos. So I'm trying to build up my skill set so I can give more value away. You know, you don't want to always be in the run of just producing. Sometimes you actually do need to be that consumer. So Adam, it's like right now you should be listening to all the gear podcasts, all the peptide podcasts, like in your free time, be off your phone. You know, it's like, okay, well, if we need to provide more education, let's put content to a minimum, like one post a day. Let's spend a lot more of my time just consuming info. So when I go make content, I get a bigger bang for my buck. You know, just going to become even better. I want to talk about this though. So I've been finding this one format for myself, and some of you guys should try it, that work really well. It does take a little bit more work because kind of does take a YouTube video, but you can even use a VSL. All these formats right here, as we've seen, like this, they pretty much all go viral. They all do pretty well. Some of them completely flop. Depends on who we're doing exactly. Like even this one. All right, it's been a really good format, kind of like this green screen, and I kind of broke it down over here, so people can like recreate it. And it's best done with a ManyChat automation at the very end, but you don't exactly need one, but it would be best done with it. So it's pretty simple. You're gonna start off with like somebody viral in the background, like have a green screen of somebody who's like really big in the fitness industry that people know. You know, you can use anybody who's fucking infamous. Sam Sulik, the Trend Twins, Alex Eubank, David Lade, Vincent Fisher, fucking whoever it may be, right? Whatever makes sense. Big red text right at the top, exposing whatever makes sense. These fitness influencers, these bodybuilders, they whatever it may be, all right? And the hook is going to open a thought loop, all right? And opening a thought loop simply means you're going to raise a question or spark curiosity without an immediate answer. And a lot of your talking head videos should be doing that. Opening a thought loop, raising a question, sparking curiosity without immediate answer. And this one right here is, you have to be a complete dumbass to believe these guys are making millions of dollars, are doing it with just incredible physiques. So that's going to open a thought loop because first off, I'm going to call you out and kind of piss you off, right? Like, what do you mean? I want to learn more about this. And you also called me a dumbass, you know, so I'm a little bit triggered. But I'm also kind of changing the mindset because a lot of people are like, oh, just because these guys are in shape, they make a lot of money. But I'm saying, no, they're not making a lot of money just by being in shape. And I've established some credibility by showing like Shelby Saps after. I'm like, this is Shelby Saps. She's in good shape, but she doesn't post her physique. She has a lot less followers, a lot less views, and she makes a lot more money than Alex Eubank over here, who has 3 times the following, 3 times the views, and 3 times the physique. And I also talk a little bit about me. So establishing credibility is number 2. Answer the why you should listen to me. And then I go into the core message structure. But I want you to understand this, right? Number 1, hook. Open a thought loop, then establish credibility with your talking heads. Over 50% of people watch 22 seconds into this video. You know how fucking insane that is? If you get 50% of people to watch past 7 seconds of your video, typically that video will do 100K. It will typically go viral if you can get 50% of people to watch past 7 seconds. That's all. That's all you need. All right. This one did fucking nuts. 7, 14, 20, like 3 times the amount. And then the core message structure should look like this. State the problem, reveal the truth, provide a solution. right? So it's like it'd be best to have the ManyChat because then it's ultra valuable. But even if you just like provide a solution verbally, it's still good. So state the problem, whatever that may be. So inside of this one, I'm talking about iChase being an influencer just to still be broke. I'm talking about influencers and making money. Like that's kind of my topic. But you could make something like, you have to be a complete dumbass to believe that these guys are staying in shape year round, right? And then you could like expose them being out of shape. Like this is Alex Eubank. This is a photo of him the other day, and he was fat as fuck. These guys just act like they're in shape year round. And maybe talk about some fucking sustainable dieting because that's what you sell, whatever it may be, right? So you state the problem. All these influencers make you believe that you gotta like you're able to be in shape year round online, and then reveal the truth. I've tried this before. It crashed my testosterone levels, and I don't know, whatever it may be. If you watch these guys YouTube, they're not in shape year round. It's just on their Instagram that they look like they're in shape. Then provide a solution. Right. And by the way, guys, it's extremely unhealthy for you to shape year round, but there is a way to stay between 12 to 50% body fat while having 800 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone. And it's simple as this. And this is when it'd be best to have that long form, like DME testosterone. And I'll send you the full guide on how to stay in shape year round and still have high testosterone levels. Like that's an ultra valuable video because you shift a person's belief system, right? You kind of shock them, but then you provide a whole bunch of value to them. If that's making sense. Like this is a really fucking good format. It's a really easy way to shift people's mindset, get them focused on you versus what's going on in the industry, and then push them either deeper in your funnel or provide them a big solution. But let me finish this. So reveal the truth. But now I've achieved X, Y, Z, all because I learned this. And I show something on the screen, and I'm like, because I learned this. I don't say what it is. I show, I don't tell, because I learned this. A content funnel. And after learning this content funnel, here's what happened. And by the way, if you want a full free 9-hour video, comment the word 9 hours, I'll send it over to you. Right. And that's why I did so fucking well, because it was made perfectly for the viewer's experience. Right. I really paid attention to what does my viewer want? They want to stop being lied to. Right. They want to stop having things hid behind a paywall. They want to make money like their favorite influencer. I really thought about the person. I asked myself, what can I do to provide immense value to these people? When you start thinking value first, that's when you crush it. How can I provide so much value to other people? And I get some of you guys in the position right now. I was like, I just want to make money. Cool. But the people who have your money want you to provide value. So you may want something, but what are you going to do for other people to get what you want? What's your thoughts on that? Questions? Concerns? Applauds? Need any more context on how to run that format? Anthony, hell yeah. No? Perfectly makes sense. It's a good format to run, man. It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I've seen a lot of other creators who are doing well. They follow a very similar structure when they're doing those videos, like the hook and then credibility. So yeah, it's something I really want to implement into my content as well.
Yeah, bro. I mean, there's always things that are just like working out there. It probably won't work forever, so hop on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But whatever it may be, it's all you got to do is like find a problem most people have and provide a solution to it. And it may take a couple days to go make that YouTube video and then make that reel for it. Like if you do it properly, if you put that effort in, what if you get this video to do 100K views? What if it generates you 1,000 leads? What if it generates you at least one fucking sale? Like, would that be worth making? Would that time be worth making $1,500, $2,000? Like for a lot of you, yeah. But it's just like I think we're kind of trying to just like put a little bit in just to see if we can get something out. And if we get something out, then maybe we'll go all in. It's like, bro, what? It's just like go all in and you'll get something out.
Yeah. I mean, the way I see it, like myself and most people here, we have nothing to lose with their content.
No.
So it's like, why would you not just put as much effort in as possible?
Exactly. Nothing at all, man. No one ever has anything to lose, bro. You live in the world of America. You can never lose here unless you decide to be a lazy bitch who gives up. Right, Tony? Yeah. All right. Well, that's all I had to share today. So shoot your questions away, man. You got any questions about that content format? Anything there? We can go a little over what I presented today.
I have a question. It's not really related to content, but
Yeah.
I was supposed to have a sales call today and he didn't show up. So how would I go about like reaching out to him?
Have you not reached out to him yet?
Well, I reached out to him like 5 minutes before the call, nothing
Uh-huh.
answered, and then 5 minutes after the call was supposed to be scheduled, I said, "Yo, are you still down to hop on, or do you want to reschedule?" And I haven't gotten an answer yet. So,
You might be
I don't-
blocked, bro.
well,
Like, if
it's
you're
on my
blocked-
number though. It's on my number. I gave my number. We've been talking on iMessage for the last like 2 days.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
different. Yeah, because I've had that happen and they just fucking block you.
Yeah, no, and he reached out to me like saying like he wants to be coached. So it was like kind of weird that he didn't hop on the call.
Yeah. So,
People, cold feet.
Yeah.
so how many days out was the call booked? From when it got booked, how many days out?
We booked it on Friday, and it was supposed to be today, so it was 2 days.
Yeah. So 2 days is a decent amount of time. So it's like, it's called speed to lead. Here, let me break this down. So there's a full mastermind in no-show diagnostics that my partner hosted inside of the school. So this is a really good video. I'll kind of run you through it. But no-show diagnostics 101. This is everything you need to know about people not showing. So it's interest levels, right? He knew he had the call. He didn't show up because he wasn't interested enough. Simple as that. Now, he may have had something going on. He may have got distracted. But guess what? He still was just uninterested enough to the point where whatever distracted him, like he was more interested in it. You know, simple as that. Like he knew he booked in the call. So it's interest levels. So you gotta understand where people are at. And you can tell just by looking at the text. They're either curious, interested, very interested, or sold. Right? Now, if they're like, if you feel like this person's sold, that's great. You don't gotta do a whole bunch. But if you're like very interested, curious, like you gotta be heavy on that lead once they book in. Like heavy. Right? Because what will happen as soon as somebody books in, they'll go from hot to lukewarm to warm to kind of cold to very cold to fucking freezing, literally within 48 hours. Like it happens that quick. It really does. You guys ever gotten angry before, then calm down an hour later? It's the same way purchasing works. When it comes to something like this, a lot of the times, especially fitness, like their emotional shit will die down really quick. So how to raise interest levels? First off, connection rate. So connection rate is how fast you connect with the lead. It's called speed to lead, right? You guys here who really want to like really need to get fucking clients, like you should be hopping out with that person within the hour, like you can. You know, like you should fucking call that person up on Instagram, fucking FaceTime and say, yo, let's get this shit going. As soon as they're reaching out, as soon as they're like, yeah, I want to make this happen. You know? Like get them on the phone like that day if you can. Speed to lead is everything. And even Alex Hormozi says this, like you'll see, I don't know, what is it? Like a 30% increase in fucking buy rate if you contact it within 7 seconds or some shit like that. That's a big increase. If 30% more people buy when you contact them in 7 seconds, like that's major. So like connection rate is everything. What does that mean? For you guys, it simply just means if somebody wants to hop on a call, you should get them on the call today. You know? You should try everything you can to get them on the call right now, because they're a lot more likely to buy in that moment. Even just hop on a short call too. You know, even if you just call them up, like if somebody's in your DM saying, "Yo, I want to get coached by you," Dylan, is that like something they said?
Yeah, pretty much exactly that.
So if I was in your position, what I would have done right there is literally just like call them on the FaceTime, be like, "Yo, G, what's going on? Yeah, what do you want to make happen? Blah blah blah." Cool. Like have a good conversation with the person and see if you can like close them right there. If you're kind of like, I'm not really sure, then go ahead and like set up the FaceTime call. Be like, yo, bro, when do you want to hop on it real quick? Can we hop on right now? Like push them. You know, you got to be a savage inside of sales. Engagement rates. So engagement rate is how much do they actually engage with any content you send over to them. It's a big thing. So it's like if you have content to send them, VSLs, long form YouTube videos, case studies, pre-call assets, whatever it may be, it's all about getting them to actually engage with that content. You know, like if somebody hops on the call with me, they're like, "Hey, bro, I just got done watching your case study." I'm like, "Good, about to get paid." You know, but if they're like, "Yeah, bro, just got off work," I'm like, "Fuck." This one's gonna be a little hard. You can always tell. And consumption rate is are they actually consuming that? They're similar. Maybe I fucked them up. But here's the thing: why they don't show? They forgot they have the call. Book them in sooner. Simple as that. So the highlighted or the bolded part is like the fix to it. So they probably forgot they have the call, so book them in sooner. They didn't know how to get on the call, which wasn't the scenario. They didn't understand what they're getting from the call. It could be that, and that's why they forgot they have the call. So that's consumption rate of something like a VSL, right? So you can get a call booked in, but if you don't really have a VSL, then sometimes they have no clue what they're going to get on the call, and that's why they'll hop on. They were overwhelmed by the call. Typically, really isn't that, and they didn't know. They didn't think it was important or worth their time. That's also another big one, which is interest levels. But this guy seemed interested. So I'd say the biggest thing here is they didn't understand what they would get from the call, and they forgot they had the call. So there was nothing for them to consume after they book in, and they booked in too late, right? So it's like, okay, now get angry that you don't have a VSL. That you don't have 7 long form YouTube videos that are 30 minutes long, right? Because then you can increase consumption rate. And also next time you got somebody's like, yeah, I want to get coached, call them right the fuck up. Yo, G, what's going on, man? Let's make this shit happen. You know, high energy. Yeah, but this will help out a lot right here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Where is that doc?
It's right inside of Lead Generation Accelerator. Very bottom, no-show diagnostics. There's a whole video to go along with it. But it's a really good video too. It will teach you a lot about just like leads and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead.
Part of the reason why I was like a little hesitant to get on it right away was because I wanted to like prepare for it a bit. It was my first sales call. Wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about and shit, and I wanted to know how to onboard him properly and everything. So,
Right.
if I already knew how that stuff in advance, I probably would have just been like, yeah, let's hop on a call right now. Which
Yeah.
I would have done anyways, but
That makes sense. I mean, the past, you can't change it. Every day is a good day because you learn something. You know, I would hope you can be smart men here and learn from my mistakes a lot faster. But sometimes you'll still have to fucking go through the bullshit yourself and be like, oh, fuck, that doesn't work. You know, go through the emotional experience yourself. But that's a couple things there is like success is when preparation meets opportunity. So a couple things you were missing there is consumable content. You don't have enough long form, right? We need more long form. You know, maybe we got to lose some hours of sleep to make long form. It will get you out of that situation faster. The other thing too is like being prepared to take those calls. You know, feel ready, feel equipped. Even if you don't, just do it. You know, because sales is the transfer of trust and belief. And so it's like how many frameworks or how well do you need to know a framework to get somebody to trust and believe you? It's like you don't. The framework's gonna help, right? But if you're confident, if you're convicted, if you're empathetic, if you're a good question asker, like you can close the deal. I don't even use a framework anymore, so it's all about the energy you're in, man. ABCs, always be closing. Let's go, boys. Right, Tony? He knows what this is about. ABC, always be closing.
Yeah, so like you were saying, the fast food is like same days always. Even in my business, same day leads always go. There's a higher closing rate for same day leads as opposed to if somebody reschedules or somebody waits a couple of days. You're giving them too much time to think, especially if it's a contract or something. You sign them right away.
Yeah, I like to tell you guys this. Like when it comes to fitness clients, especially, it's like they need help because they don't know how to think properly. And so the longer time you give them to think, the worse they are. That's why you never take, I got to think about it. Because if you're the coach and this person's the client and they got to think about it, well, their thinking system isn't going to work out well for them because clearly it hasn't. So that's why you as the coach, you got to be like, no, you trust me, brother. You don't got to think about it. Let me tell you here really quick. Because your thing is going to lead you somewhere that you don't want to go, and that's why you're here. You don't want to say that directly, but just like, don't give them time, bro. Get right on, dude. Get right on as best as you can.
yeah. Now I know
If
for
you
next
can't get
time.
right, yeah, and if you can't get right on, at least have consumable content. You know, at least have some type of 30-minute, 40-minute, hour-long video that they can watch in the meantime. Like, push them to watch it. Yo, bro, you watch the video, like check in with them 3 times a day. Like if you get a call 2-3 days out, like be heavy on text them. Text them in the morning, text them in the afternoon, text them at night. Yo, Dylan, how's it going, man? Looking forward to our call on Sunday. Yeah, me too. Yo, cool, man. Just making sure you got everything you need for the call. Yeah, bro. All right, cool, bro. I'll see you on Sunday, like later at night.
That's what we've been talking for like literally nonstop the whole weekend, and like
She'll
2
come
hours
back.
before the call. 2 hours before the call, I was like, "Yo, you still good to hop on in 2 hours?" He's like, "Yeah," and then it's so weird.
So yeah, this is what I talk about inside of this presentation today. I'm gonna upload this soon. Everyone should go watch it because it was some good stuff. So objections are content gold because objections tell you exactly what you need to focus on. So objection doesn't have to be something that's said. It can be something that's unsaid. I didn't show up to your call, Dylan. That's an objection, right? And so you can't take it personal. You can't take objections personal. Business, you can't take any of it personal, right? It's not your fault. And that's why we got to remove all emotions from business, because if not, you'll be like a little bitch in business. But it's just an objection. It is what it is. What can we learn from it? Right. So this person did not show why. They're probably not interested enough. Maybe they don't trust them enough. Maybe we just aren't good enough, And so it's like, what can we do to get people to like never disrespect us again, to feel like they need our shit? Because to me, that's disrespect. If somebody doesn't show on a call, like that is disrespect. I get fucking angry at that shit. I'm like, you just didn't show for me. Yeah, okay. Like, are you kidding me? And you got to treat yourself that high, right? And you don't take it out on the person, but you simply ask yourself, okay, what did I do wrong where this person decided to book in for my 4 p.m. and waste my time to get me excited and not to show up? It's like if you were to set up a date with a girl and she didn't show up, you'd be pissed, right? But do you get pissed just like that way with your prospects? You should. You should be kind of like highly emotional that way. Because then you learn something, then you make something change. Then you're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna become great. I'm gonna become great. My business got even better when I got objections because I was like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna become great. So don't worry about it. But what can you do there is the biggest question. And sales calls are not about convincing people to buy from you. They're either to sign somebody up or to get data on what you need to work on. So if anyone here has ever hopped off a sales call and it didn't close them, right? Then your question should be like, okay, what do I need to work on, right? What data did I gain there, right? What objection do I need to pre-handle my content? What interest do I need to raise? What do I need to do that would have gotten this person to close? Because like every single person you happen to call with, they like 80 to 90% of the time they can possibly close, right? Sometimes people are just fucking dumb, dude. I'll be honest, but 80 to 90% of the time, the people who booking calls with you, like they can close, and so if they didn't. Well, what should you do? Right? Can you make content pre-handle that objection, like I said? Can you make better content to increase their interest levels? How can you make your personal brand more valuable? Whatever it may be. That's the biggest question to ask. And so it's like track everything too. What isn't tracked can't be improved on. The only reason you see this spreadsheet tracker right here have so many wins is because we had so many fails and we knew exactly what to focus on in order to get so many wins. All right. So it's all about data, man. Paying attention to feedback is how you scale. All right. When you start to see what's working, what's not working is how you scale. So it's like, I've been doing client intake forums. When you guys tell me why you bought, I'm going to go make more content out of it. And that's how you get better and better and better. You collect data. And I get it because most of us here are just bodybuilding fucking people who hate numbers and shit like that, probably. But what you do love is you do love money. So you better love numbers. You better love data. Questions, concerns? Is this helpful to you guys?
Yeah, I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure.
You're concerned, G?
Yeah.
About what?
The amount of time it's gonna take to build all this.
Oh, brother, you're gonna live that time either way.
Yep.
Yeah. Bro, I don't know about you guys, but I fucking love when something takes time. Like you should look at your goals and be like, I'm so excited to spend a fucking year working towards this. Like that's exciting, bro. Because you get to wake up every single day and just chip away at something and achieve it one day.
It'll make achieving it feel not that much better too.
Yeah.
It takes to get there.
And it's just like, it gets boring achieving your goals because then you're like, well, what do I do next? So like big goals are even better. You know, the fact that shit takes time, it's even better. And sometimes I think a lot of us could really use a big mental shift. You know, I think that's sometimes the most important thing to focus on. Is who do you have to become? What do you have to change inside of your mind? Word. All right, boys. It's 8. Slept like shit last night, so I'm gonna go eat and go to sleep. We got anything else though?
I'm chilling.
No,
Good.
no question.
All right. Well, let's fucking crush the week, boys. Let's make some damn money. Let's make it happen. Luke. All right, boys. I'll catch y'all. If you need anything, shoot me a text.
All right.